gonna load up. Good morning and good afternoon, depending on wherever you at. The time of this recording, this is episode 102 of the Restricted Zone podcast, and I'm back with the big crew today, a great crew today. Kendrick, introduce yourself to the Restricted Zone fans, man.
You know who it is, the smartest man on the podcast, back at it again.
The original, man. Everyone's been using your lingo, man, but it's the original, man. The original. Kyrie, introduce yourself to the people, man.
Going on, fellas? Have a
Yes,
great
sir.
episode, man. We got some stuff to talk about.
Yes, sir. A lot to talk
Talk
about.
about
See,
indeed.
see, my man. Introduce yourself to the Restricted Zone crew.
Yeah, I'm working on something. I gotta do a little joint. Listen, this seemed the business, man, because I'm handling business, man. Kendrick, you like that? You like that one?
Listen, man. Kendrick, you feeling it? No? All right,
It
listen.
was all right. It was all right.
Yes, sir.
All right, bet. Johnny, we gotta hear the original, man. We haven't heard it in so long. Johnny, introduce yourself to the fans, man. Introduce yourself.
Hello world, just Johnny tapping back in it, baby. You know who it is. It's the analyst, all right? Not the advocate, just the analyst.
Not the advocate, just the analyst. And I need someone to actually back me up, because I'm in a lot of water now. But with that being said, Kendrick, take over, man.
All right, so listen, as you already know, we are in the NBA playoffs. We still in the first round, but this is a great first round this year. This year's playoffs will arguably could go down as top 5 best first rounds, just because we've seen some upsets, we've seen some shockers, then we've seen what we expected. You know, like for example, Sixers sweeping the Nets. It was either that or it was going to be a gentleman's sweep, but they were going to get swept regardless. And you know, they did it in 4 games, which is great because Joel Embiid got a knee problem. Personally, he be falling too much, respectfully. You 7 foot, 260 some pounds, you too big to be falling on the ground consistently, bro. You see why Shaq was never on the ground, right? Because he too big to be falling. You too big to be falling as well. But we also gonna get it. We also gonna get into the Knicks and the Cavs. You know, Knicks with the gentleman's sweep.
Yes, sir.
We gonna talk about the Heat revenge tour. Yes, we're calling it now. We're not calling it a gentleman's sweep. We're calling it the revenge tour because Jimmy Butler had to get it back in blood, as Pooh Shiesty said, right? What other things is going on? Oh, we got the Warriors and Grizzlies. And the Warriors. I'm sorry, Warriors and Kings. Warriors and Kings. That is an excellent series.
Oh, are you predicting the second round already?
Oh, I said Warriors and Kings. I didn't mean to say that, but am I hinting at the second round? I don't know. But I'm gonna start off with the Eastern Conference. We ain't gonna really talk about the Sixers and the Nets. I mean, there ain't really much to talk about. They swept them. They did what was supposed to be done and what everybody expected of them. But let's get into the Heat and the Bucks. Who had the 8 seed Heat coming out that in 5 games? Who had him? Let's be for real.
Listen.
Not a soul.
Listen.
Not a soul. And if you did, you better put some money. You better put some money on it.
Now, I will say this, and I'm glad Kendrick brought it up first. I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you guys heard Giannis's comments. Just now, we talked about this in the group chat a lot, but man, Giannis, yeah, we all know he's a top 3 player, probably the best player in the NBA right now. Some would argue, some might say Joel, whoever, KD. When I brought up the playoff stats and I brought up his playoff success, did that kind of shock you a little bit because he's so dominant that you kind of forgot that his playoffs isn't nearly as well as you would want as a guy like Giannis to be in? Or do you feel like maybe it's just, we're kind of nitpicking him a little bit too much just because of this series in particular?
I can kind of see both sides, to be honest with you guys. I can, because I forgot about the first round knockout in 2018.
I forgot.
Keep in mind, though, that was pre-Drew Holiday. Okay. But still, it's on his resume, you know. But we got to keep in mind the man does have a championship in that resume and in the midst of that. And I believe another conference finals appearance in that, too. So we got to keep in mind, Giannis is still young. And
28.
he, in his press conference last night after the game, when he asked if this season was a failure, he said, no, it's not a failure. He said, Jordan played for 15 seasons, won 6 rings. You can't consider the other 9 a failure, really. You
Ah,
can't really, you can't like. He's got a point when he says that, you know.
well, no, well,
So,
but go ahead.
but yeah, that's all I had to really say. Like, I can kind of see both sides because given like a player of Giannis's caliber, you would expect multiple trips to like the conference finals or multiple trips out of the second round. But again, he's still young. He still has a lot of basketball left in his career, and we can't use his early struggles in the playoffs, even though he does have a championship in the midst of that. We can't use the early struggles against him right now. He still has a lot of basketball left to play.
Well, Kyrie, I mean, listen, I love everything Giannis said, but the part where he said nothing's a failure, or so I mean, we have to consider this one as a failure. Granted, Giannis didn't play as many games, and that contributed a lot. But
That's true.
I mean, as
But
a number, that is a failure. It's an epic failure, though, right? Because at the end of the day, you're the number 1 seed. The Heat has no business being in the playoffs, to be honest with you. They actually kind of lucky their way in a little. So
right.
is it really not a failure? Can we really not look at that? And he was triggered by the question. Now, granted, Eric asked the question obviously the year before. Probably that really frustrated him. But I really feel like he made the right comments. But how do you know he doesn't really feel like it's a failure for him? Because I feel like when you mentioned failure, I think that kind of triggered him a little bit. Maybe deep down inside, he know this season technically was a failure,
Well,
considering.
I agree with you in a lot of points because, like you said, he didn't have they didn't have no business in playoff guys. They made us in through the play in, and they played like they did their thing. We gotta give their props to them.
Of course,
But
no
at the same
discredit.
time, we got to put a lot of things in the context. The whole season combined for the Milwaukee Bucks. Remember, they missed Chris Middleton for a
Right,
big chunk of the season, and when they did have him, he was coming off the bench and still wasn't himself.
right.
They lost Drew Holiday, and they had Drew Holiday out for a few games. They had Giannis battle injury throughout the season too, and they
That's fair.
battled with like at certain points battled with a lot of inconsistency in their lineup, and still maintain high status in the East
Okay,
because of how dominant Giannis was and how well Drew Holiday stepped up in the midst of Chris Middleton going through his injury problem.
of
So
course.
I can definitely say it was a disappointing season, but given the adversity that the Bucks faced this season and how well they maintained the chip, even though it ended with a brutal first round loss to a team like the Heat, who, like you said, had no business in the playoffs, I'm going to consider it a complete failure.
Well, I mean, when you lose in 5 games, Grant, I don't know. Maybe I'm nitpicking. I mean, Seam, what do you think? Like,
I mean, I kind of agree with Kyrie. It's
all right.
hard. I mean, obviously they lost first round. They have high expectations, but like, I mean, that's sports, bro. It was a crazy series. Like Giannis
Oh, of
got hurt.
course.
Giannis got hurt the first 3 games, missed all first 3 games, and Miami did what Miami won 2. They won game 4, which was huge for them, and they carried that momentum over to game 5. I actually got some interesting stuff. Like Miami was out of this world. Not even just Jimmy. Miami themselves were out of this world. In the regular season, bro, they were dead last in points per game, averaging like 109 points a game. And in the series, bro, they're the number 1 scoring team in the playoffs.
That's
124 points a
ridiculous.
game in the playoffs. In the regular season,
That's
they were
ridiculous.
26 in the league in 3-point percentage, averaging 34% from 3. In this season series, they are the number 1 team in 3-point percentage, averaging 45% from 3.
That's
And obviously,
ridiculous.
Jimmy's doing this thing, bro. We of course Jimmy always does his thing in the playoffs. Even he was out of this world. Like this is his best series of his career, averaged like
Timothy.
37 points. And the Miami Heat stepped up with him, bro. They were amazing the whole series. And it's why like I didn't look at the series like when the Bucks lost. I wasn't looking like, oh man, the Bucks lost. I can't believe it. They have to blow the team up. Like no, it was an unfortunate situation. Like they lost the series.
Unfortunate situation.
And
It really was. They just lost the series, bro. And the Heat got hot and they carried the momentum over to game 5 and they won the series, bro. And it's like they did what they were supposed to do because it's not even like you can't use the excuse because the Bucks did what they were supposed to do. Giannis missed the first 3 game and they won one. So when you got Giannis going back 2-1, you feeling comfortable. Once the Heat won game 4, that's what changed the series because that was the biggest win of the series because
right,
they going back back to Milwaukee up 3-1. Like that changed everything. But man, I mean, the Heat got hot. They had the momentum. They couldn't miss any shots. Jimmy Butler was obviously amazing. That put up 56 and 42 versus two games with Giannis in the game. Um,
That's crazy.
I think my main thing is, bro, we were talking about in the group chat, is Coach Butted, bro, Mike Budenholzer, man, because this is just another game, another series where, and this is something that we've seen in the past, even with Brooklyn. They almost lost that series against Brooklyn because he failed to make any adjustments against KD, and he let KD go 1-on-1 the whole series against with PJ Tucker. And it happened this series again where Jimmy Butler's going off 40, 50, all these crazy games. They averaged 40 points in the series, and Bud didn't make any adjustments. Gave him the same looks every game. Didn't send any doubles, no triples, no help side
Crazy.
defense. He didn't even switch the matchup, nothing. Jimmy got to see the same coverage
He didn't
every game. And then even in the last game, bro, they were up in the fourth quarter. You know how the Miami came back, bro? They did it like 10 straight times, having Jimmy do some backdoor cuts and having Bam on the point guard.
Right.
And they didn't have nobody drop. They didn't have no switches. They just straight had 6'3" Drew Holiday trying to stop Jimmy. Stop trying Jimmy when he's basically wide open in the paint because Jimmy's just going to jump right over him. Like Bud didn't adjust that whole time, dude. The whole series, Bud just let Jimmy do whatever he wants. And Bud was already was almost going to get fired because of how he was coaching before they won the championship. The championship saved his ass. But after that, like, he was going to get fired, bro, until they won that championship. And that shit saved him.
And to add on to that,
listen. Go ahead,
Kyrie,
go ahead.
But to add on to that, I'm just gonna make this quick little point. Everything you said is 100% correct, and it should have been made easier since they lost Tyler Hero in Game 1.
Yes, bro.
Should have been made 100%. It should have been made so much easier since they lost Tyler Hero in Game 1. He was snapping ice before he hurt his hand.
Yes, bro. Bud just let Jimmy do whatever he wants. But credit to Miami because Miami played otherworldly this series, and obviously they needed it. I mean, to beat the Bucks, and they did what they had to do. They beat them. It was a great performance by Jimmy, obviously, and a great performance by the Miami Heat. Simple as that. I don't think the Bucks are looking at this like. At least the players should be looking at this like with their heads low, like, oh my God, we need to make some move. We need to trade Chris Middleton or trade Drew Holiday. Like, no, the roster's fine. Like, you still got faith in Giannis. Giannis is the top 3 player in this league. You always gonna have faith in Giannis. I think the manager, the only thing they should be looking at is we looking at Coach Bud, like, bro, like, what's going on? We didn't set not one double team, Andy. Like, Jimmy was giving us 56, 42, 37, all these crazy games that we not gonna do. We just gonna keep Drew Holiday on the whole time, 1-on-1. All right, cool. Like,
wait, hold on a second. Before Johnny gets to 10, you know when you describe Coach, when you describe that, you know, Kyrie, you know who it reminded me of, and I think you know who I'm talking about, Kyrie. College basketball,
bro.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
You're gonna say
just like John,
not even him.
No, John Calipari never makes adjustments. Always at the late end. He reminds me of Coach Cal. That's why I said, man, I wonder why I don't.
Bro, but it's the thing with Bud, it's really a common theme, bro. Because they almost lost to Brooklyn because of that. They lost to Boston because of that. Game 6 when Tatum was going off and he went off for 45. They didn't do anything to stop him. They just let Tatum go 1-on-1 the whole time. And Tatum went off and forced that Game 7. And Boston ended up winning that series when they could have won in 6. Like, this is a common thing for Bud, that he fails to adjust through the series, especially with the stars that are going off. He just lets them go 1-on-1. He doesn't do anything. Like, he refuses to make them look at different looks and make them work for it. Really.
So that's
true. That scene, like, that kind of reminds me. I can't remember if it was 2021 or 2020 when the Bucks played Miami. I want to say it was the first round or the second round. I can't remember the specifics of it, but I remember they did such a great job of guarding Giannis throughout that entire series. And again, Coach Bud didn't make any adjustments and didn't try to get Giannis any other looks. He just kept having running at a wall in a zone.
Yeah,
we're just popping like standalone threes at the top of the key, knowing that's not his game. Didn't get him any post looks. Didn't try to get him any switches. Nothing. Just there's no adjustments.
Well, we know the
credit
culprit.
to Miami though. I'm not. There's no
excuse
for it. I mean, the Bucks fans might try to be like, "Oh, Giannis was hurt," and of course, I mean, if Giannis is healthy those first 3 games, it's a different series, right? Because we don't know what
definitely
happened.
is.
But at the end of the day, you got Giannis back when it was only 2-1. Like, you did the Bucks, the other guys did what they were supposed to do. Giannis had to come back and take care of business, and I mean, the Bucks didn't do that. They lost.
Do it right. So okay. All right.
And thank you, Fiend, for for putting Budenholzer on the hot seat, because I was going to grind him up, brother. You took everything. I'm glad that you gave him that segment that take away from Save Me a Breath, because I've been calling him one of the most overrated coaches in the NBA. Like I know as a Sixers fan, we complain about Doc Rivers and all of that. I'll take him over Budenholzer any day. And like I said, but this was a battle of coaching, y'all. Like the way I look at this series between the Bucks and the Heat, I've already we had past segments before where we talked about. I've mentioned the Heat and their championship pedigree and their grit and the type of coach that they have, the type of but the identity that they represent. Like they're just a scrappy, go hard team that they're just not going to quit. They're not going to go away. The main thing that they were missing were shooters, if you want to say that, before they got a Jimmy Butler. Like I think ever since the bubble, they just established this identity that they just been keeping up with it. And I know there was a 1 versus an 8 seed team, but they matched up very well with the Bucks. Surprisingly, they low key matched up with those guys surprisingly. And I was like, I got this thing going 6, if not 7. I didn't think it would go like this though. Like I didn't think the Heat would just get rid of him like this. But like you said, Jimmy Butler was trying to get it back in blood. Like what, 30, coming from 42, then 56. Like he was drawing like out of his body. And low key, I'm not gonna argue this. I don't want too much argument on this. I like Duncan Robinson more than Tyler Hero. As far I think, like I do, bro.
Whoa,
What
As
aspect?
far as his role,
In what
as far as
aspect?
playing
In
his
what
role,
aspect?
as far as
Oh,
playing
yo,
his role, as far as playing his role, bro. As far
Johnny.
as play, like,
Duncan
bro, as far as
Robinson has
Johnny,
a lot
I
of
ain't so Johnny. I didn't
listen,
see you in 2
but
weeks. I ain't see you
playing,
2 to 3
listen, I
weeks.
gotta stir it up. Listen, I listen here. Listen
Oh
here.
man,
Tyler
Johnny.
Hero, Tyler Hero, listen,
Wait,
I understand the
let
broken
Johnny
wrist.
talk.
Listen, I understand the broken wrist. He even made a shot. I think he made a 3-pointer on the broken wrist before they took him out. I will give him that. I will give him props on that. Tyler Hero, yes, I do understand that. I'm just saying, like now, I don't know if I got confused with the playing time or it got my mind confused with the consistency, but I feel like Duncan Robinson, like the sets that they run for him, it's been more effective. Like just having him as a set shooter is better than has been more effective than Tyler Hero forcing the issue at times
I'm
in the
sure you
earlier
got
parts of
stats
the
to back this up,
parts
right?
of the season.
I don't think he does.
because this
But didn't
most
he shoot
starting
five?
I don't think he
now
does.
Duncan,
Nah.
didn't Duncan Robinson shoot like? Didn't he shoot like 2 for 4 last game? Come through. I ain't never. Tyler Hero has been so inconsistent throughout that playoff, those first couple of games before he got hurt. He was
That's true.
inconsistent. He was very
That's true though.
inconsistent, and I'm just saying. I'm just saying, as far as this series for this fit, I like Duncan Robinson as far
Bro,
as playing
but
his
Johnny,
role
peep what you
better
just
than
said, bro. You
Duncan
said
did.
did Duncan Robinson shoot 2 for 4. The expectations
No,
for
I didn't say
Tyler
two. I
Hero on
said
this team
three.
is a lot
Didn't he hit
higher
like
than
three for
two for
four?
four, bro. Tyler
exactly.
Hero's
Didn't he shoot
giving
three
you a
for
lot
four?
more than
But
4
no, it was
shots.
that. No,
A lot
I'm
more than
only
4
saying that.
shots.
Duncan
Meanwhile,
I'm
Robinson
only
over
saying that.
Duncan
Tyler
Robinson
Hero.
is
But I'm only saying,
Duncan Robinson coaches
like I
game
said
season.
before, I might have gotten confused with the
He
playing time.
coaches
Listen,
game
all I'm saying,
season season,
like I
bro. What
said
are we
Oh,
doing?
before,
Kyrie, hold on,
Wait,
Kyrie,
I
hold on.
might have gotten confused with the playing time, but he scored like he was just more consistent. Yes, he got less minutes, but man, he just
Yeah.
looked like he played his role better. He looked
No, he
like he
did.
hurt the team more when he was open than Tyler did as far as he was forcing it. And I'm not
But
going to
Okay.
say that they don't ultimately not need him, period, bro. But I'm just
uh,
saying for that series, that matchup, Duncan did very good in my surprise. And I was like, man, he's kind of a little bit more effective than Tyler was in some instances as far as shooting the basketball. Now, granted, that might
okay.
be more to coaching and they're running him in different sets, but that just go back to the Heat. They
All
just
right.
put players in better positions like that. But I'm just saying, like that was my surprise. Like in addition to Jimmy Butler, like the others that stepped up, Duncan Robinson is one of the ones that stood out to me, unbeknownst to myself, bro. Like I was very shocked. I was just look at the others just collectively coming together, and like you said, no defensive adjustments by Mike
Right.
Budenholzer. Like, but we're used to. I've seen that from him before. And it's crazy, right? Ironically, he's got a team full of defenders, but he just won't. Like it shouldn't be too many adjustments that you would have to make. But at the same time, like you said before, Giannis wanted to guard Jimmy, and Mike wasn't trying to have it. I don't know why for some reason, but ultimately it knocked him out. I'm not as far as Giannis though. Um, I'm not going to say this is a tarnish to his legacy or whatever because he does have a ring. Let's definitely respect that. Like, and on top of that, he's one of my favorite players because he stayed with his team to do it. Like he did it the old school way. Like I told you guys, I'm old school, man, and
Respect.
I'm always
Respect.
a fan of the teams that were
Okay,
here
granddad.
before and brought
Respect.
their peoples up. Yeah, let's go. It's what Dame Lillard wants to do, but unfortunately, it's not gonna. I
should
see
have
what he's trying to
should
do.
have gone.
It's
He
so
should have
hard.
gone to the
Yeah, Giannis
Sixers.
is doing what Dame wanted to do. Like, but
Should
I
have
mean,
gone
at
to
the
the
end of the day,
Sixers.
hey, that's neither here nor there. I
That's
tell
his
you what
fault.
And
though.
I think
Can I say
my
one
bad.
last thing about Giannis? I will end
Go
it like
ahead.
this though. I want to say
All
one
right.
last thing about Giannis, bro. He got to make free throws. 9 for 16.
Yeah, that was bad. They said
I
13
think
free
I
throws in
don't
it.
want to say that's the
That was
reason they lost
huge.
the series, but
That was
my
bad.
God,
That
bro,
was bad.
for him
Gotta
to
make free
he can have
throws.
50 a game if he made his free throws. Like
Bro,
he
All
had
my thing
right.
is
33
he
points
missed
with
13
missing
free
like
throws in a
7 free throws.
2-point loss, bro. You make 16 free throws. I mean, you
It's
miss 10
crazy. It's
free
a
throws
whole
and you
different
win.
outcome.
That's a whole
Yeah,
different outcome.
you missed 13 free throws, bro. Like this, he had a great game, but like beside like the fourth quarter, he was just awful and obviously missing the 13 free throws was huge, bro. Because they win that game if he misses 10. If you make 3 of your free throws, bro, if you just make 3 more, you win. You missed 13 free throws, Giannis.
Yeah.
Come on, though. But he even
And
said
so yeah, I'm
Giannis takes
laughing.
the thing I mess with Giannis is, bro. He don't make excuses and that like that. He came through was like, listen, I gotta be better for my team. Simple as that, and he left it at
Mm.
that.
All right. That's right.
Okay.
Bro. And
Okay.
I start thinking, AC, I can't help it real quick. AC, I can't help it. Like,
What's
you know what
up?
I'm saying? Like, who was really right? Like, I gotta respect Giannis for putting himself out there to be on the free throw line, to not make those free
Of
throws.
course.
It's making me think of who. See,
Yeah. We're gonna, yeah.
he was even scared to even get
Right.
to the free throw line. And
Let's
I
not
wonder if
discuss
he's
that,
watching
gentlemen.
TV like, guess we see.
Let's all stay on topic. Let's all stay on topic.
Yeah, let
Um,
Yeah,
my man
right.
I'm
Kendrick go. Yeah.
I got a couple things I want to say. Just real
Talk to
quick.
me,
Just
K.
real quick.
Yeah.
Let's see. To bring. I'm a circle back. I'm gonna circle back to what Colin asked originally about Giannis's comments
Mm.
at the end of the post game. Listen, all fair, right? You can do whatever. You can say whatever you want. You can make stuff sound good. You don't have to make it sound good. Who cares? Honestly, respectfully, I don't really care. But
Okay.
to sit here and say that it's not a failure is kind
Yeah.
of like asinine to me.
You
Because
got,
like I'm gonna say a quote that Shaq said. He said, "When
Mm.
you're a great player and they expect you to win and you don't win, in my mind, it is a failure." And I felt that because you're not
All right.
you know are like, look at it like this. Are
Mm.
we really if like, let's say Duncan Robinson, right? Okay, if the Heat lose and Duncan Robinson talking, are we really expecting a lot of Duncan Robinson being like,
No.
dang man, you was the key? No, you are arguably the best player in the NBA, and that you are the best player on that team. So therefore, yes, you're gonna have to take the burden of all that. So yes, it was a failure. It doesn't. You fail. It's okay to fail. You getting upset about failure. It happens. This isn't your first time losing in the first round. This isn't the first time not winning the playoffs or winning the championship. But you did fail because the goal. What at the end of the day, you can ask everybody on that team. What was your end goal? The NBA Finals. You were number one in the East because you had high intentions to dominate the regular season, to go in the postseason and dominate. I mean, granted, yes, we can name all the injuries and do X, Y, and Z, but no. But just at the end of the day, yes, it was a failure because you expected it to win, and everybody on the outside who was cheering for you expected you to win it all. So in the end, it's a failure, but it's okay to fail. Things happen. There's better luck next year, my boy. That's all we got to say to you. Better luck next year. Another thing, what Johnny said. Johnny, I'm gonna keep it a buck. That might have been some BS you said out your mouth, and respectfully, I don't know how you said that with a straight face. I wish I could see your face to see how straight it was for you to say that, because it's ridiculous. You're telling me Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson. Are we expecting Duncan Robinson to go out there, score off the dribble, not give us 20 points? Are we expecting him to go off the dribble,
Quick
handle the
for
offense,
Alex
put
too,
the
by
ball
the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just
no,
do
saying,
we
Johnny,
really,
he's tripping, bro.
do we
I
really
said,
expect all that? And it's like
Now, when Kendrick put it
okay,
like that, it's
no.
like, whoa.
Look, when Kendrick
it's
puts
like
it
it's
like
That
that,
no,
bleach
like real.
listen,
game to
No,
you,
listen,
Johnny.
hold on,
That bleach game in your
John.
nose, dog. You gotta chill.
Listen. I understand. Yes, he looks good, but Duncan Robinson, as you said in your point, he's a spot up shooter. Okay, all you gotta do is drive and kick, and if he's on his game, catch and shoot, knockdown. That's his job, is to catch and shoot and space the floor. I don't think Duncan Robinson's job is to give me 25 and do whatever you need to do to that 25. If you give
yeah,
me 12 points and knock down 4 threes, I
never,
appreciate you. Tyler
I
Hero
never said
16
that. I never
because he was
said
a
that.
pure
I
bucket.
never, I never said that. I just said he looked good for the little bit of minutes that he played, and I was surprised.
Because
I
he was
forgot
doing
about it.
his job. Everybody's gonna look good doing their
And that's
job.
I said and that's what I said, bro. I said, now given he's got less responsibility.
But
But
Johnny,
that's
but
what I said.
Johnny,
He
but
played
Johnny,
his role.
this
He
is the
played
only
his
time all
role
season he
pretty
showed up
well,
to
and
do
I
his
was
job.
impressed with it. That's not to say
This is
he
the
was
only time
better than
all
Tyler
season he showed up to
Hero.
do his
I
job.
didn't say that he was the better shooter. I said Tyler Hero is. I said that the Heat. It's not like
Oh,
the
I
Heat
wish
isn't going to
Chris
miss
was
Tyler
here.
Hero, period. But I just said Duncan Robinson surprised me because he played his role surprisingly good for the minutes that he had.
Where's Chris
There's
when you
For
need
nothing
the
him?
wrong with
first
being
time
surprised about
all
that.
That man
There's
got
nothing wrong
minutes.
with being
The
surprised
man
about
didn't
that.
get playing time. The man did not get playing time in the
Did
regular
I
season because
say
he
I might
couldn't
be
hit a
confused
shot.
by the
He
playing
couldn't
time?
hit a
I
shot.
said I might be confused by the playing time, but from what I saw, I said, oh, hey, he did. Hey,
bro.
listen here.
He let Max
He
Strus come out of Narnia and take his spot in a playoff series. Like that.
Max Strus is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. He had a heck of a series. He had a very good
Bro,
series
Yeah,
shooting
that,
basketball. He had a very good series
bro.
shooting basketball.
Anybody,
But yo, I'm not make no mistake about it. I'm not putting Duncan Robinson over Tyler Hero. I never said that. I just said he surprised me. I said, oh wow, not bad for 8 minutes, not bad for 9 minutes.
but
I
at
didn't
the
think
what
he
same
is
was
Not bad.
time,
surprising.
surprising?
What?
I
Robinson
didn't
is
think
Whoa, whoa,
that.
whoa,
there.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
I
Come on,
didn't think that. Did you
Wait,
not
Kyrie,
see
Kyrie,
that?
hold,
Did you
hold on,
did you
Kyrie,
not
hold
see
on.
that coming? You didn't see that
real
coming
quick,
either.
real quick,
Like
real
I'm
quick,
telling you,
real
No,
I
quick.
just
wait,
said
but
look
hold
at
on.
the
Let
others.
Kyrie, don't say
Look at
that.
the others that collectively stepped up, and Duncan Robinson is one of them. I didn't expect nothing from him. I was just that's it. That's it.
But Johnny, I was saying, bro, you was trying to down Hero at the same time while you were saying that.
Yeah,
So you
like
try,
why you had to
my man didn't even get
All
the
right.
Because when he's
Like,
off, God Lord, when he's off, his shot seems forced. When he's off, when he's not hitting it, it seems like his
it's the
maybe
same
that's
thing
because
with
his style
Duncan,
of
though.
game.
but like
Maybe
Kendrick
that's
was
just how
saying,
his
bro,
game is.
That's the
his
same thing with
job is much
Duncan.
more different
When
than to come
Duncan
off
on, when Duncan
the
off, he
That's the
still be
same
shooting.
thing.
And like I said,
bench.
Tyler Hero got more responsibility, so he'll probably take more shots. I get that. I definitely understand it.
Wait,
Definitely
hold on,
understand it.
wait. Johnny, let me ask you this. If Duncan Robinson was getting the same amount of minutes and all the opportunities that Tyler Hero was getting, is he averaging the same amount of
No,
points
he's
and
not
doing what
averaging the
Tyler
same.
Hero
I
was
already
doing?
made that clear. I
Okay.
already made that clear,
Okay.
which is why it shocked me in the first place that he did what he did with those 8 minutes. I was like, oh wow,
Okay.
look at
First
the
of all,
others, particularly
I think
Duncan
the
Robinson.
games he played, in game 2 he started, he had like 14. Game 3 he dropped 20. Duncan had a great series, bro.
I was just
Yeah.
saying he surprised me. That's
He
it.
had a great
That's
series.
true.
What is
But you damn
how?
played
What is
Hero at the
what?
same time.
Listen, I don't understand though. What is surprising about Duncan Robinson
It's
doing his
Duncan
job?
Robinson, bro.
Like I'm
I didn't
Hold
expect
on.
confused.
Kyrie,
anything.
don't say
Listen,
that.
no, no,
Hold
no,
on.
wait,
Don't say that.
I'll be
No, no,
honest.
no. But this is the thing.
He's a
This
poor
is the
man's
thing though.
JJ Redick. That's how I looked at him until I'm like, oh wow, look at him. Even he's trying. Like
Well, this
that's
this
it.
this
It's
guy
not wrong. That's
who's
it.
made
Listen to what you
millions
just
of
said.
dollars to
Listen
shoot
to
the
what you
ball.
just said. Listen to what you just said. He's a poor man's JJ Redick. What was JJ
Poor
Redick's
man's JJ
job?
Redick.
What was his job? Because last time I checked,
Poor man's JJ Redick.
JJ
This
Redick
was
wasn't the type of
Johnny.
person to really get off the ball and go just hit him with the yeem, and then go. No, he was a
So
shooter.
that
All right,
adds and that continues to add more to
JJ
my
Redick had
point of
times
why
when
I
he
was
wasn't.
That's
When
surprised.
he was.
Exactly the reason
that's
why
like
I
Can't
being
was
I
that's like
say?
surprised.
watching
Exactly the
bro
reason why I was
Johnny.
surprised. Shout out
That's
to
like
the
watching
Miami
the
Heat
Lakers.
others. That
Oh
shout
man.
out to them
bro, can we get
collectively as a
past this?
whole.
Is a
One of
crazy
the ones that stood
conversation,
out to
bro.
me was
That's
Duncan
It's
Robinson. I
hilarious,
scary
didn't expect much.
conversation.
It's okay for me to
bro.
be surprised,
Yo,
bro.
Kendrick,
By
he
You know
a
like,
what?
bro,
no-name
You know
role
what?
player.
he looking
Nah,
like,
bro.
bro, this shooter's hitting shots. Yo, what the hell?
I mean, bro, again, listen, hey,
I'm done. No, no. Honestly,
The
hey, for
shooter's hitting
real,
shots.
listen,
it was
listen.
surprising.
Time out.
Wait,
You know what? You know
hold
what?
on.
He is
I'm
6 for
It's
10.
banging the
That's
gavel.
why.
surprising,
I'm
man.
bang.
That's
I'm
it.
bang.
I
I'm
can be
banging the
shocked.
gavel. I'm banging the gavel. I'm banging the gavel. Listen, we're ending this because
You
honestly,
bang
this is
that
getting
with
Kendrick,
outrageous.
next topic.
We're complimenting shooters for doing their job. You know, we're ending it right there. We're ending it right there. How about
Shout out to Johnny. Shout out to Johnny though.
let's get into the Knicks and Cavs. I'm gonna be
Oh
honest. I'll
man.
start it off.
Oh man.
Respectfully, I had the Cavs in 5
Kansas
strongly.
7.
I was
Kansas 7 out here. All right, I get it. Kansas 7.
But listen, I had the Cavs winning. I'm gonna be honest. I had the Cavs taking it in
See, turn
5,
this
maybe
camera
6,
off.
respectfully.
No, Steve, you better
And
come back here. You
and
better come
and
back here.
and and they folded, and it upsets me. It
They
really
sure
does,
did.
because like
They sure did. They sure did.
it's no way, bruh. It's
And you
no
was right,
really.
Kendrick. You was right about Donovan Mitchell, Kendrick. You was right. It's a shame. You know what? He's just a scorer. He can't be a leader of a team. He'll always be a scorer. He won't be a leader.
Damn,
Devin
Kyrie.
Booker. No. Devin Booker is a leader. Bradley Bill's a
Hey,
leader.
you can't.
Those
Bro,
guys.
Bradley Bill not even in the playoffs,
Bradley
dog.
Bill.
You
Bradley
can't.
Yes.
This is
No,
why,
I
Kyle,
know
you
Bradley.
taking
I
it
know
too
Bradley
far,
Bill.
bro.
I
You
know
taking it
Bradley
too
Bill.
far,
Listen,
bro.
I know.
No,
Listen, I know.
You
Listen.
taking it too
So
far.
wait, Bradley Bill.
First of
So
all,
Bradley
look
Bill
at the
was the the number one
matchup,
shoot.
dude.
Okay.
It's not like, bro.
Honestly,
Look at, bro. You have to look at the context, Colin, dude. The Knicks were good. It was a good series, bro. The Cavs' offense is atrocious. No shooting, no spacing, anything. They had Donovan and Garland really had no space to work. It's just those two Korean stuff. And like the series was so low scoring, both teams were locking in defensively. I think the highest point scored in the series was Knicks for like 105. Like the Cavs played defense too. It's just the Knicks had more offensive output than the Cavs did. And like
Wait, but why did
Donovan,
this?
obviously,
Man,
you want Donovan to play better, but like Donovan wasn't able to work in the paint the way he usually can because the Knicks can just all clog down. They just go down there and wait for him, pretty much. If we thinking about it, bro, Donovan couldn't do nothing down there, and that's the whole aspect of his game is his slashing ability. And Christ and Knicks, they play great defense, but like the Cavs offense, they got some work to do this offseason. But they have to get some shooting, some more creation out of Spider and Garland, bro. They got some work, bro.
man,
So
could I
you
go
think
next?
Donovan?
Because we not giving my Knicks they proper. We not giving them they
No,
proper.
they did a thing.
Because I just want to allude back to last episode when I
They
felt
play
like I
dangerous.
personally felt, and I've been humble, honestly, I've been humble, but I just felt like we've been getting disrespected, bro.
No,
Because
but
y'all play
Kyrie,
dangerously. Y'all
Kyrie,
play
hold on,
dangerously. It
Kyrie, hold
scares
on, wait,
people the way
wait.
y'all play.
Let me ask you
And
this.
that's true, Johnny. That's true, Johnny. But you got to keep in mind, we were playing with a hobbled Julius Randle who got hurt again in game 2 when Jared Allen clipped him on the layup attempt or on the dunk attempt. You playing with a hurt ankle, a hurt back, and a hurt elbow, still out there. I'm gonna tell you, he hurt his ankle again in game 5. But this is what I want to break down. I remember somebody told me Evan Mobley and Jared Allen was gonna have that paint on lock and was gonna be doing a thing down there. And I told them Mitchell Robinson was not having none of that because he had none of that with them this regular season. Mitchell
Robinson not
Robinson
worked on.
was having none of that,
But
bro.
Yeah,
listen,
worked on.
Mitchell
But
Robinson was
we not about to act
Mitchell
like
Rob,
we not about to act like
hold
the Cavs defense was
on a
good
second.
too. It
But
was a
look, wait,
defensive series, bro.
but hold on,
no,
can I finish
listen.
though? Can I finish though?
All right, go ahead, go ahead.
Mitchell Robinson and our rebounding alone, especially
Yeah,
on the offensive end, was the turning point of this series.
yeah, for
Of
sure.
course.
Once
Robinson
Jared
not
Allen
worked
and
on.
once Evan Mobley became obsolete on the rebound, especially since we couldn't get anything consistently to knock down outside of Jalen Brunson created in the midi. I'll get that to that next. Mitchell
All
Robinson was
right.
getting us those second chance opportunities, those kickouts, those passes to the slashes to get those buckets because we weren't great at creating our own shots in a set offense. So
Uh,
that's why I wanted to give that's the main thing I wanted to touch on was that our rebound and our interior presence in general, despite slightly being undersized. I got to give shout out to Hartenstein too because Hartenstein came in there his limited minutes behind Mitchell Robinson was doing this thing was grabbing the rebounds, blocking shots, doing all the dirty work, passing the ball well, keeping the offense flowing, and our guys really just stepped up. And then
no, hold on a
another
second.
go
Oh,
ahead,
go
Colin.
ahead. No, go
No,
ahead,
go
you
ahead.
go ahead. All right.
No,
So,
yeah, go ahead, bro.
so when I said Donovan Mitchell, so listen to me. He's a top 5 shooting guard. I'm not disrespecting Donovan Mitchell. He's probably a top 3 shooting guard. Maybe some of you guys are. I think is he a
He's
top 3
easily a
shooting guard
top
for you
3
guys?
shooting guard, bro.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
he's a top 3 shooting guard. All right, listen. So the Bradley Bill, we've seen Bradley Bill in the playoffs, and I'm
With
listening.
John Wall. Since when
Kendrick.
again?
But my thing is, Colin, all right, Spider didn't have the best series. You gonna ignore the other
I'm
series
not
he
listening.
had
No, I'm
before?
not. Oh,
Like what?
listen. I'm not.
No,
I'm
he's a
listen.
bad playoff performer.
team,
No,
hold
no, no.
on. Let him go. Let him go, team. Team, let him
All
go.
right,
Let him
go
go.
ahead,
Let him go.
bro.
Listen,
Let him go.
I'm not ignoring, but listen, Kendrick, you pointed out that his playoff history isn't something phenomenal. It is something to really look at, and he's not something you can really praise and glorify and put on the hot pedestal. Now, granted, his second co-star was Rudy Gobert, so I guess in his defense, maybe we take off some pressure from in terms of that. But where do you see the Cavs' future going in terms of so what's next for the Cavs, all right? Because they're locked in with this backcourt, right? I think Donovan Mitchell, how long is his contract for with the Cavs?
The backcourt is
I think 3
good.
more years.
Yeah, right. The backcourt. Now, nothing wrong with the backcourt, right? I think there'll still be a top 5 team in the East still. But what's the ceiling for the backcourt of Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell? This is just a genuine question.
We haven't seen a
I
we
see
haven't
like
Hold
seen
in
a
the
on, hold
what
on,
general.
like
hold on,
general
what
hold on.
roster built
like what's
around him yet,
Whoa,
bro.
whoa.
Based off of 1 year, like
First of all,
no, I'm just saying,
first of all,
just get me so far. What's the ceiling for those guys? I'm genuinely asking. I'm
we
not
don't
trying to
know.
put any shit. I'm genuinely asking.
hold
Like,
on.
what do you see?
Now I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, Colin. Do you understand that Donovan Mitchell's the oldest one out of, I think, almost all of them. Him and Jared Allen are probably the oldest one. Didn't Darius Garland just come in the league 2 years ago, maybe? 2?
Right.
And didn't Evan Mobley just come in the league 2 years ago? Where are they going to go? I mean, if they can if everyone stays healthy, they only can go up. They can really
They just
only
keep
go
building
up.
the team.
Are they?
You're trying to. I feel like
you-
Tyler. I feel like you're overreacting the first year with the roster.
I'm not
Really
overreacting. I was a little oversold on them, and I kind of got tempered down a lot more. But listen, I'm not saying that the Cavs won't be great in the future, but are they a championship caliber? And listen, I'm just saying, because I was really oversold on the Cavs. I always said this series was probably the most balanced series. Granted, the Knicks absolutely played well. Listen to me. I'm not taking anything away from the
Defensively.
Knicks. Like Kyrie said, yeah, I'm not taking nothing away from the Knicks. Honestly, no one had the Knicks. Well, not no one had the Knicks. I didn't see the Knicks beating the Cavs that badly. But that's why I was a little oversold on them. I'm not trying to take anything away from the Cavs. Maybe what I said came out wrong. That's not what I meant. I just feel like I don't know if those guys, I'm not taking anything away. Like I said, you might say I'm overreacting. Maybe I am. Like I said, I was a little bit oversold on the Cavs, but are they really at some point a championship caliber? Now, granted, like you said, with playoff experience, they could become that, but I'm just not sure on the Cavs. Now, listen, I could be wrong.
Like Kendrick
I'm
said,
completely fine. I'm wrong.
Hold on.
But listen,
Bro, I just had to look it up. I had to look it up. My fault. I didn't even interrupt you. I had to look it up. Evan Mobley, this was his second year. This is literally his second year. I'm gonna be honest.
Right.
Darius Garland got drafted in
2018.
I just looked it up.
2018.
2018.
No, 2018.
So
It's 2018. 2019?
So what? This is
2019.
Really?
so what? This is about fourth year. He's in his fourth, fifth year. People really don't start emerging, and the people really don't even start emerging until around their fourth. Like to honest, like let's be for real. People really don't. Some people take a little longer, but really, you start really picking up around that your fourth to like between your fourth to 10 year. I feel like people really start hitting. And many people continue on, but Darius Garland is just probably hitting the peak of hitting that stride of going upwards and being able to reach the peak he can get.
But the expectation for guards has been multiply set.
But listen,
the expectation for guards has been set because of certain
What's
guards that we already
expectations?
know. So yeah, we can't all hit the ground running like the crazy guards of today. But I think that's probably what.
And that's okay.
And that's fair.
And
that's fair. Right.
And that's okay. But Donovan's been in longer. He's a great leader. That's number one.
Right.
He's also been in there. He's shown that he can be he has potentials to be that all-star, that potential that star player. I won't say superstar because
I was gonna say. Okay, that's what Morris I was really aligned to. Is Donovan Mitchell so where do you categorize him? He's just a star right now.
A star,
not a superstar.
He's a star. He's a star.
What does he have to do to take that next threshold to being a superstar? Because Devin Booker is Devin Booker a superstar to you guys?
No, he's a star.
He's a star. Okay. All right.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest. There's not many people that I consider superstars. I think there's like maybe a handful. And I think that's just required because it's like as soon as you feel like they're on your team, you feel like you have a finals chance.
Okay. Oh yes. Okay. Yeah.
Or at least a conference finals. At least a conference finals chance.
That's fair. No, yeah, that's fair.
I view them as those top guys that you talking about. I just believe they're like the elite of the elite players. Like those guys like Donovan and Devin Booker and like Tatum. I still view them as superstars too. But I guess with your lot, yeah. But it's just different names. Like it's not. It's still the same type of logic. We just call them different things because I know what he means by like those top guys. We're like, well, we got this guy. We can win the championship now. Like I know what you mean by that.
Yeah.
But with the Cavs, bro, it's like I feel like they're a young team. Not even just with the guys going, they have to just build a better roster. And I think they'll do that.
And listen to me, I'm not taking nothing from the Cavs. Like I said, I was one of the ones because I looked at their roster. I love their roster. I love Karis LeVert. I love Jared Allen. I was really oversold, and I just thought the Cavs. I said Cavs in 7, but in my heart, I thought Cavs should probably whoop the Knicks. That's what I was really thinking in my heart. But granted, the Knicks, shout out to Kyrie. I know you're happy. Over the moon, I get it, Kyrie. The Knicks. Now, I don't know if the Knicks will really go far in the playoffs, though. But so far, listen, I give you credit for credit's due. Shout out to the Knicks, man. Shout out to Kyrie. Shout out to Lodge.
They scare me, Kyrie. Like I said before, bro, y'all scare me. Like
and Julius Randle didn't even play well.
Props, but they play so dangerously. It's like I don't want to say it's cliche by the live and die with the jump shot thing, but y'all live and die by like one main specific part of your offense.
I hear you, Johnny, but this is my thing though. So like I said, I had the Cavs in 6. They will be 1-5. I have this going in my. I have this in us in 6, and I say this: Miami is very similar in a lot of ways to Cleveland, especially on the offensive end. One, they rely heavily on very few on Tyler Herro and Jimmy Butler, just
Right.
like the Cavs rely heavily on Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell to generate their points. And
Right.
then on top of that, they're a stout defensive team, but offensively they don't really have no flow to their game. They don't really have no real like guys they can go to outside of their two main guys to produce points, especially when you get to their bench. Their bench gets really weak, and they become there's a bunch of guys like specialists.
That's
And
true.
like on top of that, Miami is a very very slow team. We're a slow team. We played a team like the Cavs, and we were able to speed them up and have them play to our type of pace. And I see I see us doing that very well against Miami because one, they don't have the type of bigs that Cleveland had in Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, who became
That's
irrelevant.
true.
All they have
That's
is Bam
true.
Adebayo.
And Bam, he matches up with Julius Randle, so that just neutralizes that. But
And I'm not even going to really mention Julius Randle because he tweaked his ankle really bad in game 5.
right.
And so I don't really know what he's going to be like. But I think he plays because he must have. I know he wanted to play last night too, but they shut him down, bro. They wasn't going to let him go back in. So
Which
I'm
is
not even
smart.
really. But we still have other bigs that he can like other guys that's active around the rim. Josh Hart at 6'5", getting 7-8 boards a game. Isaiah Hartenstein. Obi Toppin came in when Julius Randle
Obi
went down
Toppin.
in half, came in started napping. And
Obi
he's active
Toppin
around the
starting.
rim. He's got that corner 3 ball now. Again, I said this to our last year. I think we're just too deep for the Heat, bro. And again, I still feel like we're being underrated. I still feel like our guys ain't getting like that notoriety. Like Jalen Brunson isn't really getting any notoriety really for how he carried us honestly in that
That
playoff series.
just
Offensively,
yeah.
yeah. For a
He
team, because it's
carried
not
us,
like
bro.
y'all were obviously elite defense. Y'all were obviously elite defensively, but offensively, y'all had y'all struggles for the series, and Brunson was the one that kept y'all. Even but
And
Art,
and,
bro,
and,
Art
and
they
look at
stepped up.
game 2,
Hey,
and look what happened in game 2 when they neutralized Jalen Brunson. We played like total crap. We played like terrible against
Yeah.
him. They was trapping him at half. As soon as he crossed half court, he couldn't handle it. But Tom Thibodeau finally made an adjustment. We tweaked it. He was getting the ball out earlier. And shouts out to R.J. Barrett because after game 2 is where he really woke up and started smelling the
yeah,
bacon
You
and
did
got
say he was an X
he
factor for
got
you
more
guys.
aggressive. I did. And
Yeah.
it's because he truly is, bro. With Julius Randle not being 100% and not being able to score how he was, not being able to be as physical as he wanted to, RJ Barrett had to step up and make those buckets and be that other guy Jalen Brunson could rely on because Jalen Brunson had no problem going 1-on-1 with anybody in the mid range and getting
No,
his
he
bucket.
didn't.
Steady Osman couldn't do nothing. Darius couldn't do nothing. Donovan Mitchell, bye. Karis
Couldn't do
LeVert,
nothing.
bye. Bake session every
Karis
single time.
LeVert, I expected some. All right.
Bake session every single time. And again, when it comes to Miami, I don't see Kyle Lowry do much against them. They do
I,
have some longer guys. They do have some longer guys
the thing, but Kyrie, the thing
Marcus
is, if
Brothers. What's up?
like all this stuff you make it sense. It makes sense if Miami comes back to life, but if Miami keeps this momentum, they keep playing like how they play in the first round, bro.
Oh,
I
for
don't
sure.
know. But
And I'm not taking
that's
nothing
that's
away from
asking from a
Miami
lot.
too,
That's
bro,
asking for a
because
lot from them.
that's an Eric Spoelstra coach team at the end of the day. And you got Jimmy Butler off of probably the best first round performance I've seen.
ever.
Like
But not even just from bro.
Ever.
He played the best basketball they've played all season in that first round, and they did it
Can
that's a fact.
consistently for 5 games. I mean,
That's a fact.
it's
sustainable
like
though?
I don't want to sound negative, but it's like it's kind of like it's almost unrealistic to expect them to keep that up. But if they do, I mean, hey,
Oh, yeah.
the sky's the limit. But it's kind of
Trust me. I'm
And
aware.
hold on, real
It's
quick.
a toss
Hold
up.
on.
Wait, hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on, real quick. Just so everybody's aware, we're gonna introduce Chris. Let Chris introduce himself. He just slid in here.
The Kings Nuggets fan.
Yo, how do I come on here? You already start talking.
Oh,
Like,
listen,
seriously.
man. Hey, listen. Hold on.
We
Wait, hold on.
we not. Come on. We're not gonna get into it. We're not gonna
All right,
get
we're not
into
gonna
it.
get to that, Chris. You're right. No, it's over, Chris. It's over with.
I'm glad you're here because I remember something I went
Man.
a while ago, but I remember
This
somebody said
guy.
Fox and Sabonis was the best duo in the NBA. And last time I checked, Sabonis like all people grabbed 20 rebounds over him twice. But is he supposed to be NBA's leading rebounder per game? But having 20 reps over him.
I have nothing to say. I mute myself.
What my client means to say is Kyrie had 15 boards one game, so it can happen, I guess. But no, to the point though, I got Tom Thibodeau down for making more adjustments than Budenholzer with the as far as defensively and whatnot.
Okay.
As far as the Knicks
That's true.
versus
That's
the Heat. So I don't think Jimmy gets that. Like Thibs isn't letting that ride just with his defensive mind.
Okay.
And so I just don't think Miami will continue to shoot that well again.
I mean, listen. Hey, they probably can.
They probably
Why they
can. I
couldn't
just
be?
don't think it's realistic to expect them to shoot as well as they shot because they haven't shot that well all year, and they shot the best in the league, 45% from three. Like, I don't expect them to keep that up. And I mean, I think it'll be a great series, though. Regardless, I think it'll be a great series.
7 game series.
If you ask me right now, I mean, I think by the time the game start, my opinion will probably change. But right now, I'll probably lean Knicks at 7, just because I think Miami will come back to life.
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody drop their prediction for the Heat and Knicks series because that's who they play in the second round. Everybody drop their prediction.
Got you. I'm gonna say man, Kyrie. Kyrie looking at me like, hold on, what you about to say? Listen, I don't know, man. I want to say Knicks 7, but I don't know.
It's tough too because like
bro,
it can go.
I really want to say Knicks is 7, but I don't know.
I don't trust the Knicks offense, bro, at all. The one thing the Heat were in the regular season that they can continue to be is a great defensive team. They were the best defensive team in the league in the regular season. I think they can continue to do that. And the Knicks offense, even in that first round,
but
the Knicks offense was a little shaky. The Knicks offense was a little shaky in that first round. Let's keep it a beat, Kyrie.
Look, man, listen, I would say the Heat in 7 just because, like, listen, Kyrie, the way you broke the Knicks down, I really do think they're deeper. I actually do believe you with that, especially after the injury to the guard play that the Heat just had. So I do believe that the Knicks are deeper, but I gotta rest back on that pedigree and the fact that the Heat have been there more times than y'all so far. And at the end of the day, like Seam said, the defense is what they've been hanging their hat on longer. It's been the main reason they've been cutting leads down. It was too many times I remember seeing, and the thing is, bro, y'all do play dangerous, Kyrie, and I understand what you're saying. But if y'all don't, if it's certain stretches where y'all don't make jump shots and the Heat are able to get a couple stops together, like it's gonna be tough for y'all. It's gonna be tough.
Going into the series,
I like y'all offense though, but it's real. Yeah, it's gonna be. I say Heat in 7. I tell you what though, it ain't no sweep nowhere. Not even a gentleman's sweep. This might go 7 games.
It'll be a great series.
All right,
yeah, Johnny, he made a lot of good points, bro, for sure. I definitely see where you're coming from, and again, again, at the end of the day, it's the Eric Spoelstra coach team. Like Team said, they play ball the right way, and they gonna stick to their game plan. But like I said before, I got my boys in 6, man.
You know what? I'm gonna say Heat in 7. I'm gonna say
Heat in 6. Heat in 6.
I'm gonna say Heat in 7. I'm a Heat in 7. Because I know the Knicks are going to put up one hell of a fight.
Because I'm looking at the guard play, and like who Gabe Vincent and Jimmy Butler are going to take turns on Brunson. I'm looking at the guard play here. I think New York might have them beat in that area, which would help them in certain aspects.
And again, like I said for last series, RJ Barrett's going to be the X factor again. Because RJ Barrett, throughout the season, like since he's been in the league, he'll have stretches of games like this. He putting up his anywhere from 21 to 25 points a game. He's rebounding, shooting efficiently, but then he falls off, and then we don't know where he went.
So Celtics and Hawks.
He'll be the X factor.
Okay,
I can't wait for that one.
Celtics and Hawks. The Celtics currently is leading by 1 point at halftime. At this moment in time during the recording.
Celtics have been folding in that series, bro.
I know, man. I'm not gonna lie. Listen to me. Listen to me. I'm really like, what's going on,
bro? Like, hey, yo, here let me see. You know how I feel. See, if it was the Sixers, they would have been. If it was the Sixers, Tatum and Brad would have had 60 a game. If it was the Sixers, like they only seem to play us tough, right? It's only us. It seems like they play tough.
Because we play.
How do you lose at home in a closeout game and the Hawks is missing DeJounte Murray?
Cause Ice
How?
Tray is Ice
How?
Tray.
No, no, no. It was
It's cold,
no,
baby.
no. I'm gonna keep it a
That's
buck.
cold.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. It wasn't even Ice Tray. You know how you understand? You can say Ice Tray. You know who it really was? You know who really won the
Marcus
Hawks that
Smart.
game?
But go ahead.
I'm not even gonna say Marcus Smart. That is a good. That's a good one. I'm going to go Jason Tatum. Bro, he dropped
Him
19. He
too.
went
That
1
was my
for 10
second
from three,
too.
bro. He went
Oh
1
yeah,
for 10 from. What are you doing? You're the best player in the team, and you're
that's
not
true.
putting up a closeout game thing. Come on, bro.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
See,
Jalen Brown had 32.
Be
He
for
couldn't
real.
help them out with that.
Jalen Brown
Jalen
Yeah,
Brown said,
32.
"This is
Brown
my city."
has been
He said, "This is
outplaying.
my city."
Jalen Brown's been outplaying Tatum.
Yo, and there's been a history of Jalen Brown outplaying Tatum. Like
Yes.
in the playoffs, bro. He don't get his credit for it whatsoever.
Somebody pointed it out,
Cause
and it's like, damn.
Brad Stevens about to lose him. He talking about some. Listen, I'm gonna go where I'm wanted. The Celtics not acting like they don't want him, bro.
I'm about to
He
say,
the
I
reason
remember
Hey,
why.
that. I remember
come
that,
over
bro.
here.
They were
Come over here,
contemplating letting
JB.
Jalen walk. I
Come over
remember
to
that.
the
No,
Sixers,
What
man.
is that?
From
No,
New
but
Come
York.
over,
they were
JB.
contemplating that.
No,
I
he don't
remember
need
that.
He need to come to New York, bro.
Hey,
JG and
He not
JB.
coming to New York. He coming to Philly. Him and Joel with Tyrese. Oh man, please. We got this in the East and a lot. Who's stopping us?
look, but is it?
Huh?
But what is
Who's
it? But
stopping
here's
us?
my thing. But I'm wondering this though, y'all. I'm wondering why. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is it about Tatum that we assumed this
I
role
don't
in him?
know. I feel like Tatum's always been
And it's not
pushed to be
because
the
he can score.
superstar.
We know he can score the basketball unbelievably. It's not because of his scoring ability. It's not because of his like. What is it about? What did Tatum do that made us think that he
You know,
was this?
Dunked
You
on
know what I'm
Bron.
saying?
Yeah.
Made us
Oh,
think,
okay.
bro. I
All
ain't
right.
never,
Okay.
I'm
All
not
right.
bro.
even
First
gonna
of
say
Okay.
all
all, what
that.
you mean
There
made
you
us
go.
think, bro?
Hold
Like,
on.
Because what did what?
He
Like
I'm gonna
did
keep it a
dunk
buck.
on bro.
That's cool. I mean, people get dunked on all the time. I'm gonna be honest.
Ja.
I really feel like it doesn't even have to do with sometimes play. It's just how people carry themselves and how their energy is just as a person and as
Right.
they are on the court. So that gives them like if you have the persona to give off star vibes, you're going to get that attention, especially being a third overall pick. Actually, no, yeah,
He
being
was a
a
third
third
overall.
overall pick.
Yeah.
With the
Being a third
Duke.
overall pick, and then that
Mhm.
whole and that whole thing, and Duke, like these are things that are setting himself up and being like, oh hey, he went to Duke, top 3 pick,
Right.
he's on the Boston Celtics. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
the environment that he's in, and he was raised in to give him that status. But we need to look at Jalen Brown as the man, the myth
Of the
of the
team.
team.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%. And
Because
seem.
not
Oh, go
only
ahead,
does
Kyrie.
he perform them like throughout like in the middle like in the midst of the game when Tatum appears and like times I don't even seem that important
In the
like the
finals.
beginning of the second half or whatever. But like at the end of the game, like when the like money on the line, like Jalen Brown when it comes
Brown
down to it, he's
comes.
getting you them shots, he's playing
He,
aggressive, he's getting to
he
the line,
comes through.
and even like given through like the criticism, even though his ball handle is not the best, he's not the best passer. He could turn the ball over at times. He still comes at you, and he still like plays with that. Like it's just something different that Tatum. I don't really see in Tatum all the time. Where it's just like, yo, I'm taking over this game.
Seem. I want to highlight this. What you had said. You pointed this out that you and Corday had talked about that you felt like Jason Tatum always been seen like not overrated, but he's been pushed as to something that Jason Tatum probably isn't. I remember you had pointed that
yeah.
out, and I remember that, and now
I
it's
feel
really
like
starting to
this
come into
since
my
last year. I think it's because they made the finals, and a lot of people who probably didn't watch all the games and just go based off narrative. They kind of just like push Tatum as this guy and
Mm-hmm.
try to put him in a position where he wasn't at in terms of being like the top tier level player. And I just don't view him as. I think the Boston Celtics are just a great team, and Tatum's a great first option. I
right.
I mean I think Tatum's a great player. I think he's probably around like that top 10, top 11, top 12 mark. Like I think a lot of people try to push him into this. Like a lot of people saying, "Oh, he's better than Kawhi, he's better than KD, he's better than Luka, he's better than
Crazy,
Embiid, he's better than all these
crazy.
guys." And it's like
No, he's
it's just
not.
not the case. It's just not the
No.
case. But I
Yeah,
don't
and,
And
think it's a.
yeah, that's what I was wondering, bro. And I think it's maybe I don't know if the draft status or he had now
I
like
think
he did.
honestly, bro, I think it's just because they made the finals and they made the
Okay,
yeah,
finals.
yeah, because it's not known. Like we seen the game where he had a horrible first half and then hit like how many threes in the second half to like assist Boston in that win. I think that was like the game before. Was that game 5? Game 4. I believe I forget which game it was. So he'll have stretches and stints like that, but it doesn't
right.
ultimately define who he is for real. And it's like I get it.
I mean, it
That
kind
same
of does
stigma that's been put
because
on
it's at
question
the
makes me
most
question.
crucial moments. Like he falls at the most crucial moments, bro.
someone that kind of gets like this Kobe tutelage pupil type of thing.
Plays nothing like Kobe. I never understood. He never played anything like Kobe. I never.
I
understood
know.
that.
I mean, I see
Not saying that
Jason
Tatum, but
Tatum.
I love Tatum game, bro. It's just like when you
Right.
look at the play, he doesn't play like Kobe. The only
No,
player that I
he took
look at
some
that
of his
plays like
moves.
Kobe is Devin Booker.
Yeah, that's more Kobe in my book than Tatum. Yeah,
It's more like the play style, bro.
Exactly. But Tatum has adopted a lot of moves, especially the turnaround J. I mean, he got that to the T, but he overuses it a little bit too much sometimes when he tends to go ISO. So it's like,
but here we
hey,
go, guys. Another.
listen,
But here we go though. Jason Tatum, along with like the Celtics in general, another top seeded team that was very deep. That's like having bits of
your
struggling
audio
here.
had went out, Johnny. But go.
My fault. Am I clear? You can hear me now? Am I clear?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, you're clear now. Okay. All right. Well, Kendrick, go ahead, Kendrick.
So listen. So all right, I'm gonna give you all this question, and then we're gonna move on to the. Is there any other teams that I forget in the Eastern Conference? No. So we're gonna move on to the Western Conference, right?
Yeah, we be
Yeah, we
West
go to
next.
Western Conference.
Okay,
West
perfect.
next.
So
Well,
do
I
the
wanna-
Celtics win tonight? Yes or no?
Hope so. I'm ready to see Boston
I
sweep the
hope so.
Sixers.
I think they do.
I hope.
I'm ready.
Stop. Scene.
I think they do. I
Crazy.
think
Being honest,
they
bro.
Who your
do.
team, Scene?
After I
Who you-
seen Brooklyn
As a
do to
Hey,
them,
Sixers
bro.
fan,
Listen.
no. But as an analyst, they
See,
should.
who your team? See, who's your team? See, who's your team?
My two
Who's
teams, bro, the Heat and the Suns. We going to the finals. We going to the final, bro.
Okay.
This how I do
Ah!
like this though.
That
Listen,
is so not fair,
I
yo.
feel like, bro. One thing y'all obviously got the job done versus Brooklyn, but Brooklyn they play great defense against y'all, bro. I think Boston's able to replicate. They'll be able to replicate what Brooklyn does defensively, and their offense is actually good. They can actually score points. So
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, bro.
Chris,
Like
Chris,
that
I
series
saw
might
you.
be quick.
That's no, but
With
Chris, I saw you
Embiid,
unmute your
with
mic.
Embiid,
Go ahead.
With Embiid, they clamped Embiid too. The Nets were clamping Embiid.
That's ain't claiming Embiid, but
They were
go ahead,
clamping
Chris.
Embiid. Simple.
Whoa. He's not entirely wrong because Embiid never really went off in that series. It was
They
Tyrese
clamped
Maxey.
them.
It was.
I mean,
All
if
right.
we being honest, Nick
More points than
Claxton was beating the I don't know what out of Embiid all series, bro.
Nick,
Every time they
how
went
does
for
Nick
a rebound, bro, elbow to the lower back.
Yes, they were.
Bro,
Elbow to the lower
you
back.
looking at that boy Embiid flopping is tripping, bro. They
Don't.
clamped him.
Right. It was.
No.
And not only him, but the Sixers offense was
No.
clamped. This is the Nets offense so bad they wasn't able to capitalize, but Boston's offense will be able to capitalize on that defense. Boston,
Hey.
I'm not gonna lie, man. Boston
Listen.
gotta get past Atlanta first. I'm not even gonna look past Atlanta, but
I'm not gonna look past Atlanta either.
I think Boston might get Philly out of there quick.
We'll see about that. But Chris, let's wait to you before you let Kendrick take over.
I mean, Boston's going to win tonight. I have them winning. I don't think they want to go to a game 7. I don't care what it does. I feel like Tatum and Brown going to get their ish together and they're going to close it out in the second half and worry about Philly. Just that simple.
All right.
I think the same thing. We also got to shout out how good Derek White's been playing in this series too. He's been a big part of their success as well. I think he's slashing like up until like last game, he was slashing like 60, 50, 90 or something like something crazy, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
I saw that stat. I was like, wow,
a game, playing good
that's crazy.
good defense on
and
Trey.
honestly, yeah, I was waiting for him. Like it was kind of, I was like, "Where's Derek White at?" But I remember saying that the first couple of games with Boston, but I guess they didn't need him at first. But
Right, his best
yeah,
games
like,
were the first couple of games, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure they was, yeah.
Yeah, Johnny, come on, man.
I can't
The analyst?
with Derek White.
It ain't a
It was him and Brogdon.
Yeah, bro.
And Brogdon was doing their thing.
the analyst.
Yeah, bro.
He's the advocate. He's my advocate. He did back me up. All right, Kendrick.
Back to back.
Okay, so we're gonna hop over to the Western Conference now. We're gonna we're gonna dive into them. And I don't. Where should we start? Who should we start with? I mean, should we even start with the Suns and Clippers? Because that just feels like that's just a what if talking, you know? Because Paul George. We should.
Go ahead. No, I was gonna say we should start with Denver and Minnesota for real.
Okay.
I love people say the Phoenix John.
Okay, then let's pull back. We gonna push back the Suns and the Clippers, but we're gonna hop in with the Timberwolves and the Nuggets. I mean, they did get the gentleman's sweep, 5 games.
Gentleman's sweep.
My man Ant-Man, he did his thing.
Imagine trading 5 first picks.
Listen. I'm gonna be honest. I just want to see Ant-Man win, so I had the Wolves in 7. Hope I was praying for that.
Yeah,
just 'cause
Wolves
of
in
Ant.
7.
You actually
No,
had the
not
Wolves in
really.
7?
I'm capping.
Oh,
You
okay,
can't
okay. I was
blame him.
about to
I'm
say.
not mad, bro. He
I
can't
just
blame
want
him.
to.
41,
I just
36,
want
34, 29. It
Johnny.
was not Anthony's fault. It wasn't his fault.
Bro,
It's
I
not
wanted to
Anthony's
see
fault.
Anthony win. There's a difference. It's not. I really saw
Kendrick.
it. I just wanted to see Anthony win. That's it. I just want to see
Kendrick,
Ant-Man win. But
let me ask you, Kendrick. So the Wolves, because obviously they don't have no future because they traded away most of draft picks. They're
they
stuck with
win
this
right now.
roster. Yeah. Well, no, like what's the expectations for the Wolves? What's their ceiling? Are they even like honestly? What's the end goal
I
for the
honestly think
Wolves?
the Wolves are stuck, bro, and that's sad for
They're stuck.
Anthony.
They're stuck.
They stuck. They're
Like
stuck.
what can you do?
And it's like this
Trade
team is in
Cat,
weird
start
position
over,
too.
keep Ant.
Trade Cat, start over. All right.
What are you getting for Cat these days, though?
What are you
Like
getting
what,
for him?
like what franchise altering are you getting for Cat these days?
Because Cat makes me
He
sick
he just
sometimes.
missed he just missed a huge amount of games this season. He came back and was playing well, but
He plays soft.
yeah, you're getting
He's a scoring big man, bro. He's a scoring big man. You know?
They brought Rudy because Cat doesn't want to like use his body to actually play defense.
Yeah,
That's why they had Rudy Gobert,
I thought it
and that
would have
didn't
let him
work out at
score
all.
more.
And you still
He
averaging
didn't
one
want to
block
let
a
Cat
game
score
in
more.
the series.
Okay. All right. First of all,
Oh,
my fault, Thug. Listen, I'll be honest. Okay, y'all talking
Okay, my
about
brother going crazy in 2K, y'all.
guys. It get like that. It get like that. But listen,
sure
we all
does.
talking about. People always talk about Rudy's blocks per game and all this, all that. Listen, y'all got to look at the difference in the team when he was with the Jazz versus when he's with the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves actually had perimeter defenders. They had people who would go out and guard the 3 and like
You mean the
actually
Jazz?
play defense.
That's true.
You said the
But the
Timberwolves.
That's
Jazz,
true.
yeah, no. I was saying the Timberwolves played that, but the Jazz didn't. The Jazz
That's
would be
true.
like, they had a sense of comfort and relief because they was like, oh, we got Rudy back there, so whatever happens, if they get passes, we good because
Fuck a
Rudy's back
sense
there.
of
So
comfort.
therefore,
Their game plan was to let defenders bother them and funnel them to Rudy. That was their whole game plan.
Literally. That's why he
yeah.
was
And
so
So it's
that
like
versatile.
Comfort. They
just
was relying on him.
that's why I'm
They didn't have
saying like
comfort.
y'all
They were
keep bringing up this.
relying on Gobert.
Yeah, and that's why I'm
what did
saying.
Greg say? What did Greg say to chat? I don't know how Chris wakes up and just decides to coach though.
But
I don't think
listen,
Chris Finch is a
Man.
bad coach, though.
He's not. I just feel
I
like
like Chris
he's
Finch.
just been given
He's a good
the
coach.
the bad look of the draw with this roster, and I just don't know. It's not his fault. It's
I
just
don't think it's a
horrible
terror.
management.
I honestly think Minnesota will come back next year and be a top 6 seed. I just think there's a clear ceiling on this team.
But
I,
I do think as long as you got Ant on the roster, bro, you got a lot to have hope in. Especially like you just gotta rely on your GM and your front office to make the right moves to put the right stuff around him. Like Kendrick said, I
They
think
kind of they.
the clear best move is trading Cat because that's the only person you can get assets that you could really trade for.
It's just unfortunate, but the Timberwolves because it's like I don't want to keep on harping. I feel like we talked about that before, but it's like that trade for Rudy really
that's
hurt, bro.
crazy,
It
man.
really hurt, bro. I feel like
Who?
they were in a great position last year when they were a 7 seed and win 6 games with Memphis. I was like, oh, this Minnesota team, they're in a good position. They come back next year and get better. And then they traded all their role players and all their picks for Rudy Gobert, and I feel like that set them
Yeah,
back.
after they did that, I didn't know where they were. I
It set
don't.
them back.
I
It set
still don't
them
know where
back.
this team is. I don't know what this team's identity is. Honestly,
Set
I
them
thought
back.
they
Well,
were
see, I
centered
think
listen,
the
man.
around
identity.
Cat, but it's not working.
I think the identity was it's like now we freeing up Cat to be more of a prominent scorer, and then we have Rudy back there to actually play defense. But the
Right.
game plan the defensive game plan that they had, it didn't resonate well because Rudy wasn't used to that, and it doesn't fit Rudy. And then also everybody talking and like I understand you can say your bad things about Rudy, but at the end of the day, you can only say really bad things about his offense. The man got he got Butterfingers for hands. Every time he got KY jelly and Vaseline on his hands for every game, bro. Because he can't catch a cold in the wintertime sweating. You know, that's how bad his hands are, bro. It's just terrible. Just doing this all game.
Listen,
Kendrick not lying.
damage control. Kendrick, damage control. He's talking about us. You killing him right now.
I'm not killing him. These are facts. This is the whole problem.
The truth.
Nobody don't like passing him the ball because he can't catch.
Not just that, Kendrick. I get the sense that nobody in that Timberwolves locker room
likes him.
Bro.
You think the thing? I was thinking.
I don't think they like him, bro.
I don't think anyone likes him.
Because honestly, I wouldn't like him either. But this is the reason why. Because listen, how are you 7 foot what one? I think he's 7 foot 7. No, hold on. He's 7 foot 7'1". Okay, I mean you don't gotta have a crazy offensive game, but can you at least catch the ball and dunk? Can you do that for me? Can you do the bare minimum? Can you get an offensive rebound and go up strong and do that for me, please? No, you can't do none of that. And this is why we're mad at you and we don't like you, because why are you only you are just so half, you are such a half of a potential person. It makes everybody mad around him.
I just feel like
you missed the line from Mike Conley.
It gotta be, bro. Because why don't nobody like that, man?
No one likes him.
Basketball, bro.
It might be. I think it is.
If you look at him on paper, if you look at him on paper, you wouldn't understand it. But watching him play, I see what you're saying. Like with the slippery hands, he'll give you 14 and 15, 18, 16 and 10 once in a while. Like he'll even do that. So imagine if he had some type of. But we spoke on this before, and sadly, I feel like he's so good at the role that he has. He plays that role very well. Like he'll give you 8 to 10 boards a game, and that's enough to stay on the floor. That's enough to be a starting center. But I don't know where the other fabrication around his game is coming from.
He went 3 times deep, but
I'm about to say my thing is like, why not get a guy like Clint Capella and pay him half what you pay Rudy Gobert?
First of all, Utah paid him.
Right,
bro. But it's even worth Minnesota traded for that contract, bro.
Right? Yeah, like they pick up the contract.
They traded for the job he had to do.
Oh my man, the Wolves just put
traded for that contract, bro.
Wow.
They traded 5 picks for him.
If you want somebody to get you 10 and 10.
Man, that's crazy.
I think that's even
that's
like
crazy.
Utah paid them, bro. But I feel like Utah kind of like they didn't have any other choices to make. Minnesota did not have to trade for that contract, bro.
I feel like the Wolves might be the only outside the Sixers. When we talk about management, the Wolves definitely might be top 3.
Y'all never traded 5 picks for a role player.
We never did that. No, but we made a lot of poor decisions, man. We let a lot of poor decisions. But the Wolves might be top.
Rudy be having them full, y'all. I don't know where these other fabrications around his game come from. Okay, you can give me 10 to 12 boards a game. That's fine. I can take that and I can use that. But you be darned. What contract did he sign? You got me chopped and screwed. Like that's trade him for what he is.
I would have stayed Rudy just because, and I know he's great at his role. He's gonna play defense and get boards, but I would have stayed away from him just because of that contract alone. I'm not paying a role player $50 million.
Absolutely, I got this for you. I got this for you to fit your role and help us win. I know you can do this. But was this.
Crazy. Shout out to the Wolves though.
Let's move on, bro. I'm not talking about the Wolves no more.
Throw it to the Wolves. Shout out to the Wolves. Shout out to Anthony Edwards.
He might be the Kendrick. Can't hear you, bro.
Yeah.
My fault. I'm Chris. Shout out to Ant-Man for my fault, Chris. Go
ahead, Chris.
I got nothing to say. I already said it. I gotta talk about the Wolves. They trash.
They made the play. All right, come on, y'all. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it extra here.
I like Anthony Edwards. He's a great player. They trash though.
All right, so we gonna talk about this. Should we talk about the Suns and the Clippers, or should we talk about the matchup of the?
There's nothing to talk about.
I want to say the Clippers are just unlucky, dog. The Clippers
just unlucky. That's all you can say.
A long conversation is got to be having about Kawhi Leonard at some point.
I mean, what is it to say? We already know. And the thing with Kawhi is, bro, I genuinely love Kawhi, when he was playing the way he was playing the close of the year and the way he started that series, bro. Me and my friend like, this man Kawhi is the best player in the world, bro.
He was averaging 30.5.
I think he was shooting. I was very surprised. I said, how did he come back and didn't miss a beat? I was very surprised.
He came back as the best player in the world, and
it's legitimate. probably the best two-way player in the league. Maybe between him,
Bro,
Jimmy
forget
Butler.
the best two-way player. Kawhi is the best player in the league.
Best player in the league. All right.
Forget two-way. He's the best player.
All right.
He can stay on the court. I can't agree
Yeah,
with
he
you with
can't stay, bro. I'm
I
saying when he
know,
play. I'm saying
Chris.
when he
That's my
plays,
only
Chris.
thing.
Availability is
Availability,
best
the greatest
ability.
ability. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Damn.
god,
I
Oh,
love
I-
Kawhi
crazy,
too.
bro.
We
He's
don't
gonna go.
got to talk about that theory, man.
Yeah, I don't. It's not. Yeah. I
We can
don't
move
know,
on. I
man.
just wanted to say that, bro.
Yeah,
The
Clippers
Clippers
just
haven't.
unlucky.
The Clippers are cursed to sell. Like I don't know if
Yeah,
the
man.
racist boy they had, if he cursed them or something before he left on the way out.
Steve
Like the
Ballmer.
Clippers are
He
just
put
cursed, bro.
Wait. Donald Sterling? You
Donald
said?
Sterling, yeah, I think
Donald
he cursed
Sterling.
them. I think he
Donald
got a
Sterling. I
curse.
said Steve
I
Ballmer.
was thinking of
He
Donald
cursed them,
Sterling.
bro. The
Donald
Clippers
Listen,
are
Sterling.
man.
cursed. They're
And then
cursed.
you gotta think.
Hey, I am crying, yo. That is
It,
what?
and
He put
Kyrie.
some.
Well, go ahead, see.
He put some of that white magic on him
He put
before he
that
left.
voodoo.
He
He
got
put
them
some
cursed.
voodoo on him.
But the thing
Kyrie.
is, even with the last roster with CP in them, they always deal with injuries when it mattered. Now with this new roster with Kawhi and PG, they're dealing with injuries. But the Clippers are just the most unlucky team
Yeah.
in the NBA
Crazy,
by
man.
far.
And
I
they
don't
should
want
have.
to hear a word. And listen, I ain't gonna lie, y'all was right, but I don't care. Paul George is still playoff P. I don't care. He wasn't supposed to get
Playoff
hurt.
P.
He wasn't supposed to get hurt. He wasn't. I was really banking on him to have a great playoff performance. He gave me
Playoff
nothing.
P.
He got hurt. He folded. Like what is y'all
Playoff
like?
P.
I just want to cry, bro. I really do because no, I'm admit it. I'm admit it, bro. I've been standing for Paul George all season. I
You sure have.
play previous segments. I will say that. Are you kidding me, Paul? Are you kidding me? Like I was so. Oh,
That's Chris's
like
guy.
why did he get hurt, bro? Why? Like, bro, you know what he was gonna
What?
do?
Hey, shout out to Russ though.
We don't know what he was going to do.
I'm just so sick with you on that. I understand. All right, I eat my words. You really made me like that. That's salty, bro. Like I really was standing for you because I believed you because like I saw what you did towards the end of the season last year. Never mind, bro. The Clippers are cursed. The Clippers are cursed.
Shout out to Russ.
Yeah,
Shout out to Russ
Russ.
though. Shout out to Russ too. Even though he played bad the last game, shout out to Russ. He did drop 37 the game before. Got to give credit where credit is due. But yeah, Russ tried his best. He always leaves it out there on the floor. That's what you can't take away from Russ. He always puts it out there on the floor. But
He said he gonna be in the NBA next year, bro. He earned another contract.
Yeah, he'll be in the NBA another year. I don't see no team. Well, I don't know. Maybe.
The Clippers re-signing him. But
yeah. Kendrick, next.
so the Grizzlies going to Game 7 or they done?
Yeah, bro. The Lakers trail. LeBron sucks, dog.
Oh,
Whoa,
Grizzlies in
see.
seven,
Only
dog.
I'm gonna
allowed
mute you.
to
See,
admit that
I'm
he
about to
played
mute
like
you.
trash.
See, I'm about to.
Only LeBron's allowed to admit that he played like trash. He said in an interview, "I played like shit." You know what I'm saying for our viewers, but we all
LeBron
heard it.
been
We all
mid-all
heard it. Only Bron can
series,
say that.
dog.
Scene.
What we
You
talking
can't
Oh,
say
about?
it.
Chris, go ahead, Chris.
He
Don't
been
everybody mute your
good, but
mics. Go ahead,
I'm not
Chris.
gonna worry. LeBron been good, bro. But I'm not understanding this. Oh, LeBron's him. LeBron's gonna turn up in the playoffs. LeBron still got it. I
He's
don't
still
know.
He's
listen.
been getting a lot of help. He's been getting a lot
He's
of
been
help.
getting a hell of a lot
Then
of
he's
help.
38 too, and he's still playing as well as he is at 38.
Yeah,
Bro,
he
I
is. And he
understand
has
that
been hooping
Colin.
at 38.
He's playing well for 38, but my whole thing was that he's not that guy anymore. He's
But that's
still a great
okay.
player.
I just can't
But
say
that's
that about the
okay.
But
king.
when would you
That's
say he
okay
But
wasn't?
too.
he's 38.
But I don't know. I just
That's
When
can't
would you
take
say
that
that?
from
bro.
Bron.
Y'all can't. Here's my thing, bro.
Bron's always
When I
affected me.
listen to me though. When I tell y'all LeBron's not him because he's older, y'all can't come back and be like, oh well, he's older, y'all. Like, I told you this is why. I said this is why he's not him, and y'all like, oh well,
Okay,
he's
that's
38,
fair.
bro. What you expect? Like that? Yeah. It
No,
is.
well, me
He's 38.
personally, I still feel like Bron's playing so well. I don't know. He's just
He's
I don't.
playing good. He's still
I
playing
never
good.
doubt.
Bro,
I'm never gonna
we've
doubt
established this
Bron.
before though. We've
I'll
established this
never doubt
before.
Bron.
He's not
Yeah,
supposed to be him right now. It's supposed to be
yeah,
AD.
right. This supposed to
Yeah,
be AD.
exactly. Yes.
Inconsistent.
Yes.
Listen to me.
I'm just saying when I was saying, oh, LeBron's not him, everybody looked at me like I was crazy. That's all.
Yeah, you
Because
had a
He's still a
Dylan
great
Brooks
player.
moment.
For you,
You had a
Scene, like
Dylan.
what made
He's
him
still a
not
great
him
player.
anymore?
Weapon John.
What did it for you, Scene? What made him not him anymore? Like what
The
did
last
it?
2
Like
years, he just not his first step's
cause,
not there anymore. He's not the driver he once was. He doesn't have the athleticism he once did. I think he's still an elite finisher,
it's
but
because
he's
he
not
can't carry a
getting to
scene. It's because he's not carrying the way you
It's just he's
accustomed
not
to
the
him.
same player. If you watch, he's not the same player. He's still great. I still have him as a top 10 player. I just don't think he's that caliber of guy where he's on my team. I'm looking like, oh, we got a chance to win a championship. We got LeBron James. Like, no, the
But
other
look,
pieces have to fall in
I
place.
mean,
right.
I see what you're saying,
To a
Steve. But at
certain
the same
extent.
time, you got to look at it and say, well, they got a chance to win the first round when a lot of people had him written off and not even getting into the playoffs. And
They
then,
have a great
and
team.
yeah, he hasn't been him. He's been putting up like I think like 22
He's
and
been
12,
great.
something like that, 5
I'm not
dimes.
even saying he's bad.
But
I'm not even saying he's playing
but
bad. He's having a good series. I'm just saying he's not the LeBron that everybody thought he was going to be.
He's
That's my
not
whole
gonna.
point.
but
He
this is
just
my
doesn't put
whole
fear into
point
you.
though. This is my whole point. It's not about just him. Feel me? And this is like I'm gonna give shout out to everybody that's helping him out because like without them they wouldn't be in this position right now.
I don't
Right.
know.
Austin Reeves has been him,
Austin Reeves,
and
Rui Hachimura, D'Angelo Russell,
I'm
all of
about
them.
to say
And then I'm not gonna lie,
Rui.
bro.
Yeah,
The AD man, he getting on my nerves, bro. Because
no, he
you
can't.
talked about
He
it,
can't move his
Kyrie.
arm.
If the
He can't
Lakers,
move
AD,
his
if the
arm.
Lakers are gonna be legit to me, AD had to step up and be a consistent MVP level guy. And he hasn't been that even in this series, and they've gotten away with it because the other guys
that's a
have
fact.
stepped up. But
exactly. Xavier
That's a
Tillman and
yeah,
the
fact.
Steven Adams not there. That's really
But
Lakers' lucky
I
break.
I want to talk about Austin Reeves a little bit
Hey,
because
yo, that's
I
a
truly
good
do
point.
believe he is the X factor, and he surprised me a little bit like
Shout out to
in these
Reeves.
couple games because I knew he could ball, and I knew he had like he had some games so he got a
He's got
bag.
that swagger to him a
But
little bit too.
it's just that poise and that like
That
that
swagger.
vibe he get off like yo I've been here before
he plays like a vet. Yeah,
Exactly.
like this is nothing to me like
it's
I
his
do
second
this
year,
bro.
bro. But he plays like a vet. He
Second,
plays like he been
exactly.
here. Yeah, he
Exactly.
plays like a vet.
And the thing that like I really like about it too is that he plays within himself while he does it, and it's
Mm-hmm.
all efficient. His shots is all shots he normally takes. The way he's creating space is not a
Mm-hmm.
bad shot. It's within the flow of the offense. It's a
Yeah,
high percent shot, and he's knocking them down. And it's happening when they need him. It's happening in clutch times and stuff like that. So I just had to give shots out to him because like me and Steve is like have been saying, like LeBron hasn't really been him, and Anthony Davis hasn't really been him to the point where we could take the Lakers serious past this round if they end up winning. But Austin Reeves has really been the X factor. Has really been a key piece for what the Lakers have been able to do so far.
you
And
know,
I
I
was,
just want to add to it, bro. LeBron shouldn't. If LeBron's your second option, bro, you are in great position.
of
But I just
course.
don't think the Lakers,
Hmm.
for the Lakers, the way AD's playing, LeBron isn't their second option, and I feel like he should be.
Go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say I agree. I do agree with Seam on the fact that LeBron is not the same player anymore, due to the fact that not only is he going to, but he shouldn't need to be the one to carry a team night in and night out like he used to.
Right.
Now, what I will say is that LeBron can still get you a game when he needs to get you a game, and that's all it should be. So, and I'm doing that for example because when you look at Game 4, I mean LeBron. I mean, yeah, he had 20-20 game. He shot terrible from the field. We all know that. But when they needed him to get a bucket, he did score. When he wanted to ice the game, he did ice the game. So I
Right.
think them going back to crypto.com or whatever the hell they're called right now. I think Ron already understanding the magnitude of how he played in Game 5, how he called himself out on it, and the fact that he doesn't want to go back to Memphis for a Game 7. I felt he's going to come out with a little bit more aggression, and that might be the one game this series where LeBron just goes into lethal mode and just wants to put the Grizzlies out of their misery. Now he's definitely he's AD to have another big game like he had in Game 5. He needs to do that or do even better at home. He needs Rui to have a big game off the bench. He needs to make shots. They need to make shots. If they can make their shots, because they missed a lot of threes in Game 5. If they can make at least threes they make had the threes they took in Game 5 and Game 6. All LeBron needs to do is just when the game gets close in the fourth quarter, give me the ball and let me go to work, and they'll be fine. Second round.
And who can I say who knew the Lakers was this deep? I might have underestimated their bench a little bit.
No, of
Might be
course. Jared
because of
Vanderbilt been
Oh
playing
yeah,
well.
after the
might be
trade,
because of
Vanderbilt.
Austin Reeves
they
and
definitely look a lot different.
Rui.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I might have underestimated that. That definitely
Rui,
underestimated how deep that roster is.
Hachimura.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they've
man.
been
They
scraping
What?
together.
yeah.
Hold on, how y'all going to doubt this? First of all, we've seen Austin Reeves. He been hooping since last year. Jared Vanderbilt is that hustle player that every team need. He fits perfectly. And Hachimura hasn't even
Jack
got
of all
the chance
trades.
to show. And Rui hasn't even had a real chance because he was. I think he had a
Those are the
nagging injury when
Wizards.
when he was with the Wizards. So we ain't really
always
see
hurt.
a healthy him. But now he healthy. He been doing it.
Yeah,
He
and
like
thank
this.
you
He
because
just didn't have the platform to show himself.
thank you for explaining that because I'm wondering where's he been all this time? I've been knew about Rui, but I'm like, what's taking so long? On and off with the injuries and I guess it's Washington, that organization. I guess
It's
as far as
Washington.
winning
Come on, let's be
yeah,
for real.
bro. So I was just wondering, like, but
Whoa, it's
I
Washington.
mean,
Relax.
that's Kristaps Porzingis was there too, so that
Come on,
a lot of the
Kendrick.
minutes got taken up at that
Relax.
fourth.
right. There you go.
Because the Wizards got it.
Kyle Kuzma came there, started snapping. Yeah,
He started. Yeah. Kyle Kuzma. I'm not gonna lie. He kind of surprised me, but we're not gonna talk about him.
You see what the Wizards are. That's all I'm gonna say. Cancun on 3, Cancun on me.
Listen. But next year, Bradley Beal should be back.
Cancun on 3, Cancun on me.
All right, listen.
Yeah.
All right, catch it. Next
I don't
topic.
think Yo, Kendrick, I'll be honest, bro. I don't think the Wizards can afford to go to Cancun, bro.
Whoa.
They
The
going
Wizards
to
slander.
Atlantic
The
City.
Wizards
I'm about to say,
slander.
what's the Atlantic
Ocean.
No.
To Cancun.
The Wizards
They go to the
slanders.
Smithsonian.
Whoa.
That's crazy. Atlantic City's it's so foul. That's
Wait,
foul.
That's
all right,
wild. Not even Ocean City. He said Atlanta.
Listen, Kendrick. What's the next matchup?
The last matchup we're gonna have to talk about is the Warriors and the Kings. I'm gonna say this.
Best for last.
It's
matchup for last.
The best
That
matchup
was
of all
a
the
huge
series.
win last night, bro. Huge.
over.
It's
over.
It's
The Warriors
it's
are playing.
over. It's over.
The
Huge
Warriors
win.
decided to start playing.
Over.
They decided to start playing seriously. They said, "Oh, we let the 2 games off. My fault."
Yeah.
And this is
they started to play defense seriously. That's what it really was.
Bro, my thing is,
the Warriors
what's
defensive
my
tactics.
biggest takeaway, bro, is that
What?
Bro, I'm tired of people trying to take away from Steve Kerr as a coach and everything, bro. For the last few years, he's made the adjustments at the right time, switching the lineups up at the right time, and it's been winning them series. I don't want to hear anybody talking about Steve Kerr just gets carried by stars, whatever. Steve Kerr is the best coach in the league.
I think the only thing people complain about was that because Mark Jackson did handpick those guys, did develop them before.
And Steve Kerr got them to 67 wins, bro.
Absolutely, but people more so people try to take.
Are we
Mark
giving out
Jackson
participation trophies?
Come on, man. Mark Jackson did build that foundation. He did build. He built the foundation.
Time out, because I'm not gonna have anybody speak on my stuff. So I do agree. Only for that first championship, I feel like if Mark Jackson was there, he could have done that. I'm not going.
They were complete, but they were a different team. Steve Kerr got there, though.
You didn't let me finish.
All right, Go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say, Mark Jackson foundation, and I feel like if he stayed there for another year, he would have won that first title, especially considering they faced an injured Cleveland team. I will give him credit for the fact that, and I know KD was a big part of it, but I'm not even talking about that one. I'll give him a big credit for definitely the last 5 years, especially when they lost KD and they were really bad, and he kind of stayed the course with their game plan and everything. And like you said, Seem, again, making the right adjustments and stuff, knowing their personnel, and ultimately when their players got healthy again, he already knew what he had going into the season. Now, I do agree. I'm sorry, I don't agree with you that Steve Kerr's the best coach in the league, but I do think he's number 2. I think he's number 2.
Who's number 1?
Eric Spoelstra. I can't go past Eric Spoelstra.
Okay.
That's cool.
That's cool. I agree with it. Especially what he's been doing. I agree with it.
But
I do agree
with you, Seem. Steve Kerr, for some reason, somehow, he knows when to make the adjustments when they need to be made. So that I'm credit for. He made that Warriors team. He turned them into a dynasty. But I feel like Mark Jackson should have at least gotten a ring from it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. 1,000%.
He gets a pat on the back.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Kendrick, we giving out rings for participation, bro. How you know?
No, bro. I'm tired of all these participation trophies.
That's like saying DeMar should have got a ring with the Raptors, bro. I'm not giving out rings. He wasn't here. Come on, dog.
That's DeMar should have
got fired for a reason.
Yo, I think DeMar. I feel bad for DeMar, man. He played with that franchise for so long just to leave, and then they go win a title. I can't imagine how he felt.
Bro, that happens all the time.
I can't imagine how he felt. Man.
Dwayne Casey didn't need to go. They would have won a chip with Dwayne Casey still at the helm. But DeRozan had to go. DeRozan was done.
DeRozan had to go, but damn.
Nothing crazier than getting fired after winning head coach of the year. That's
different. That's
wild.
That's different. I bet he was just like, what? I just won coach of the year.
Can we talk about the the Suns Nuggets matchup, bro? Because I'm actually really excited for that series, bro.
Yes. Go ahead, Chris. Wait, but this is the last topic before
Suns in
we let it
6.
go.
Yeah, let's talk.
For sure.
Last topic. Suns in 6? Chris, he said Suns in 6.
I say Nuggets in 6.
No 7-game series here? I think it's a 7-game series.
I mean, it has the potential to go in 7. I don't see it going 7. The way I see it is, I feel like this is the series where the Suns' lack of depth is going to come into play. Now,
will.
Kevin Durant and they had Devin Booker, and I'm not going to take away anything from
That
them.
duo is lethal. That duo is lethal. Oh my god.
No doubt.
That duo is so
what did
good.
KD say? Watching Book play was spiritual? That's different. I ain't never heard that before.
No
Chris
doubt.
Paul and Michael
It
Porter
definitely
Jr.
was. That last game, bro.
Spiritual. He said spiritual.
Yo,
Hold on, Kendrick. What you say?
something different.
Chris Paul and Michael Porter Jr. are going to be the reasons why either X team wins or Y team wins.
I also disagree.
I agree with that.
I think Ayton is going to be the X factor for Phoenix. Bro.
Yeah, I got Ayton because Ayton just got to step up. You're the number 1 pick, man. You got to play like it this time.
Ayton's going to get dog walked by Jokic. I'm going to have to say
But he got to give it to him. He got to give it back to him.
He always
He
does.
gonna get dog. Wow.
You gotta give it back to him,
Now,
bro.
You already
yeah,
know
that's
Jokic.
Kendrick,
And
come on,
see,
man.
you know
Where
Jokic is a nemesis of me, but that I gotta say so as well. I hate to agree with
Really?
him.
No one's got.
I have to agree with him. Jokic is gonna dog walk him, and me being an Embiid
I'm
fan
not gonna
and
lie. It's
even liking
interesting, y'all.
Jokic,
The last time Ian matched up with Jokic, he guarded him pretty well in the playoffs.
Yeah,
He did. But
that's
Jokic
what.
also averaged damn near a 30-point triple-double that series as well.
Well, Chris had to throw that in there. Chris said,
Well, I'm not that. Like, Jokic is out. Jokic gonna be Jokic. I'm not that. I just think for the Suns to really have a chance, I feel like they need to. I think even though they beat the Clippers, I think their chemistry, their lack of chemistry, kind of showed because they're still trying to figure things out in terms of who we're gonna have, who we're gonna have close the games out, who we're gonna have, who's our first option, second option, third option. I think for the Suns to really go far, they have to implement Ayton more into the offense. There's a lot of times where there was times versus the Clippers where the Clippers would run that small ball lineup and DeAndre Ayton had Eric Gordon on him and they wouldn't give him the ball.
That's
I feel like they have to implement Ayton a little more into that offense. And down the stretch, bro, the Suns were winning those games and they ended up they would get the job done. But even down the stretch, the Clippers would keep on coming back because I feel like the Suns they play around too much with their food. I feel like Book and CP are too used to this being them two. And they have to remember, like, listen, we got KD. Sometimes you just gotta give him the ball and get out the way. I think there was a lot of times where they were just having KD standing out there and not giving him the rock. And I love that they put Devin Booker at point guard because I've been advocating all year that the best thing the Suns could do is put Devin Booker at point guard and have CP be the secondary ball handler. I think CP played better because of that. And Book is obviously he had an amazing series. But I would probably, as of right now, just because of what I've seen from Phoenix, I just think the lack of chemistry I think Denver can get it done in 7. But I mean, it can go either way.
It can really go either way. This
my
is one
thing
of
with the
those
Suns is, bro, pairing KD and Book, those two alone, having those two, they can beat anybody. Honestly, they can beat anybody having those two, bro. Because they free up each other so much, bro. They Book is gonna have an easy night. KD is gonna have easy shots because they free up each other so much, bro.
Two of the most talented scorers.
What happened, Kyrie?
Kyrie.
Your mic not working right now.
Your mic must be muted. Yeah. Your mic.
You guys can hear me?
I got you now, Kyrie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my fault. I think my AirPods are messing up. But I was just saying, Chris Paul just gonna be in the middle of that. Like I was agreeing with Sheem, he's just gonna be in the middle of all that, just orchestrating it too. For when like D Book does see those occasional double teams, or Kevin Durant does see those occasional double teams.
See if he can make a play happen for sure.
Exactly. He can get the spot. He can get you a nice little spot up. He can get it, drive it, kick it out. Like he's just that perfect like middleman for them for what's like.
Yeah, I just think me personally, I think to really unlock the Suns' full potential, I think you have to get Ayton going because getting Ayton going in the post that unlocks a whole new level to the offense. So you already have KD and Book freeing up everything. If you have Ayton getting going in the post, that's freeing up even more. I think that's a whole new level of offense they can unlock by getting Ayton going down there. Go ahead, Kendrick.
I will say this: I believe that the Suns really want to have a better chance. They have to make Jokic be a scorer and not a facilitator. Because if he sits there and you let him operate, he's going to pick y'all apart the entire game, and it's going to be the entire series. And that's what's going to lead also over. if they have to, I believe they have to make Jokic a primary scorer and not a facilitator, because then you're taking his best aspect of his game out, and you just gotta hope that him taking that out, everybody else is on your team's best aspect is getting shown and actually playing and doing well. That's how you overtake the series.
That's true. All right.
I will say.
I just think that it's easier said than Denver because the way that Denver is going to play, yeah,
Right.
I'm
they
just saying
gonna
that's what they're gonna have to do. But I
that's
ain't
what they
say
should. They make Aiden work for it. Make Aiden be like, listen, Aiden, we're gonna leave you on that island. But the thing with Denver is they gonna have Jokic at the top of the key. They're gonna have a bunch of move, and they're gonna bring out Aiden out of the paint. That's another aspect. And then that pick and roll. Chris, I know you a Nuggets fan. You know better than anybody. That Jamal Murray
Yeah.
Jokic pick and roll is unstoppable. Like I don't know how you guard that because you go
Pick and
you
Scene,
roll.
all
go
right.
you can't do nothing
Wait,
with it,
guys,
bro.
hold on. Hold on. So,
All right.
Scene, Chris, and then we're gonna end it off with Kyrie.
You got Jamal Murray. If you go up too high, Jamal Murray's going to dump it down to Jokic. Jokic's either going to score or somebody you can have somebody help off. Jokic's going to make that pass. And if you drop, Murray's cooking the drop coverage easily. It's like I just don't know that pick and roll is actually like the best pick and roll in the league, bar none. I actually like truly believe that, bro. That pick and roll is unstoppable.
All right, Chris, and then Kyrie.
So first, I want to say the big difference between this series against the Suns and the last time that we played the Suns is the fact that Jamal Murray's back. And C. Murray hit the nail on the head when he said that pick and roll, a pick and pop with Jokic and Murray is very difficult to guard, very difficult to stop because you can't put a big on Jamal Murray because he's just going to dance with him and just create his own shot. He can do that against Chris Paul anytime he wants to, but you also can't leave Jokic open because now you're giving him space to either shoot the ball, space the floor out, or like Kendrick said, you have to stop him from doing facilitate. I will say what does scare me about the Nuggets, and I just see this a couple of times in a few of their games against the Wolves, they go on stretches where they just can't seem to buy a basket. And not only that, but then they also start playing lackadaisical defense. And against a team with firepower like the Suns and Ayton, KD, and Booker, you can't do that because they'll turn because they can get out because they will score. And I have no doubt they will score. Like I honestly expect Booker and KD to combine for at least 60 to 70 points per game in the series. I'm not even going to lie. I honestly do think they could both average 30. But I think for me, the X factor for the Nuggets is going to be Aaron Gordon and Bruce Brown. And I feel like that, and I say that because I feel like those are going to be the primary defenders on KD and Booker. Now, all I ask for is to make them get more shot, make them get most of their points from the free throw line rather than the field. I'd rather see them go just a crazy stat line. I'd rather see them score 27 points, but they're shooting, let's just say 8 for 25, and 10 of the points coming from the free throw line. I know the math doesn't really add up like that, but I'm just saying I don't want them to be efficient scores. It's a lot easier said than done. But if they can turn them into like guys who have to jack up a lot of shots and not making a lot of shots, the Nuggets will have a chance because the Nuggets can score with anybody. Yeah, they don't have the star power that these other teams have, but they had the system to score with everybody. They have shooters everywhere on the court. So I feel like it's just going to come down to can we make KD or Booker, not every game because every game they're not going to be stopped, but can we make sure that KD and Booker cannot go crazy every single game in this series? If we can do that, their lack of depth is going to show, and the Nuggets I feel like can take it in 6. Mind you, the Nuggets have the home court advantage, something else they did not have last time. That's also going to answer the fact, and I feel like we'll see that in Game 1 Saturday.
Hey, Chris, I hear you, bro. The Nuggets have a lot of things that they didn't have last time. But I think the biggest difference is that the Suns didn't have KD last time when they have KD now. So
listen. KD is a big difference, but at the
it's gonna
same
be
time,
fireworks, bro. It's gonna be a great series.
it's a good series. But at the same time, and again, I'm not saying KD is going to play like this, but I did see KD last year play horrible for 4 straight games. Now I'm not saying he's going to do that, and I doubt he's going to do that. But if I can get him to play horrible for 1 or 2 straight games, I feel really confident about the Nuggets' chances of winning.
That's fair. And Kyrie, I'm ending it off with you.
Yeah, everybody made really great points, and I see it from both angles. I mean, this is going to be a really, really good series. I'm leaning more towards Denver in the 6 and 7 game area. Mainly because I think one of the main points I'm gonna touch on is a topic that or a point that Kendrick brought up, and Michael Porter Jr. being one of the X factors. But Michael Porter Jr. didn't really stand out to me in their last series against the Minnesota Timberwolves. But one thing that really stood out to me, and something I always appreciated about Jokic once he's kind of came into the stardom, is even if you're having a rough game, you could be shooting 3 for 29, If you're open, he's gonna find you. He's still gonna give you the ball. He's still gonna show you that he's confident in you. And then a guy like Michael Porter Jr., who's a great 3-point shooter, he's always hovers around the 40% area. For him to have a bad game, like for him to have bad games like he's had, or just have off nights like he's had, a guy like Jokic trusting him and giving him the ball in situations in clutch situations is something that's really going to prove to be big because he's going to answer the bell eventually. Few other players I want to bring up, and I think they're going to be pivotal pieces in guarding Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Is my guy Chris brought up, and Bruce Brown, who's a solid all around defender. To be honest with you, guys bigger than him. He can switch around to the perimeter and chase around guards. And he's good at getting in transition. And Kentavious Caldwell Pope, who's going to have to be what he's always been, just a solid 3-and-D wing. He's going to have to. It's not going to stop Booker because Devin Booker's just been on another level, and in the playoffs, he's always on another level scoring wise. But KCP has to be physical with him. He has to chase him off those screens and those handoffs and stuff like that, and just make life rough for him. And I think he can do that. I think the Nuggets overall have the roster to do that. Guys like Jeff Green, like with his experience and his ability to defend and still get out at his old age. I think Denver Nuggets just slightly have an edge in depth, and on top of that, their chemistry and just them having that core for so long, they know how to play with each other, and they know how to trust each other. So I think it's going to be a really good series, but I think Denver's going to pull it out in 6 or 7 games.
Man,
I
listen,
agree
like I
with you,
said,
bro.
I
that
gotta agree. I real quick, I just gotta agree just off the stat. I think Denver's a slight bit deeper. I know a Durant, you can never account for a Durant or a Booker, especially on the same team. But I do feel like Denver. I give the slight nod to them just based off of like how they are. I think they're a little bit deeper. Their wing defenders are gonna have enough of an impact. And I feel like Jokic at the end of the day, I'm not gonna say the best pick and roll
right.
I still like Harden and Embiid, but yeah, I see the argument for sure. But yeah, I mean, even
Jamal
though
and
I'm
Jamal and
biased, but
Jokic pick
I
and roll better,
understand.
bro.
No, yeah, I understand. Like I said, I'm biased, but I definitely understand. Like Murray, Jesus, like
All right.
that kid. But yeah, I'm only giving Denver a slight 9. That's only because they're a little bit deeper on the defensive end.
Fair point. Fair points. All right, like I said, probably the second future best matchup outside the playoffs so far until we see everyone else go to the respective matchups. But that concludes episode 102 of the Restricted Zone podcast. Kendrick did an awesome job mediating. Shout out to everyone on the crew. This was definitely a great episode. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this episode as much as we enjoyed recording it. You can follow us on Instagram at Restricted Zone Pod. You can also follow each and every single one of us individually on our Instagram accounts. It'll be inside the description below. With also all of the streaming platforms, you can also check us out outside of YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor, you name it. We're there. We're free. Just give it a listen, share it with your friends, and like I said, subscribe and like and turn on post notifications. We are also on YouTube, so just keep that up. Just liking it helps us get out there. So definitely tune in to us, and we really appreciate it. So enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the rest of your week, enjoy the sports madness that's going on in the NBA and the NFL, and have a great day, everyone.